Big up, my Reds. Tonight we have a very, very complex show for you. Complex because we're going to talk about some subjects that are um, not going to be easy subjects to talk about, to be honest with you. Uh, some subjects that are very emotional, some subjects that talk about our present, subjects that are going to be talking about our future. So it's going to be one that we have to definitely take in stride, and ones that we're going to definitely take walk together, which is the most important part about it. So, excuse me. I'd like to give a shout out as always to the chat that's coming, that is joining us so far. Red Armchair Supporter, Lee Wizkid, Eric. Big up to Eric, by the way, too. Big up to you as well. Hope that you're well. We have let me bring in Lee as well to the board here. Big up, Lee. How are you?
Hey, good. Thanks, mate. Good. I thought it was an encouraging display last night. In some ways, it wasn't like totally awful. We didn't go to pieces like when they scored. It was very unlucky, like the way it went in. But then ours got a deflection as well, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. But I think too. Now that I think about it, let me double check just before we start the show, because I do have a very important segment to start the show. I think that their goal was credited to. He got credit for that goal, and yet our goal was deemed as an own goal. That was a big difference.
Yeah, I haven't looked at any replays. I only watched it when I watched it last night. I didn't watch any replays or anything, but I'd be interested to see if Wirtz's really was going wide before it hit
It wasn't.
someone.
I don't think it was.
Well,
I honestly don't think
It's only if it's going wide, isn't it? If it's on target and it hits someone, it's still your goal.
Yeah, I don't think it was going wide. I think that for them to make that assessment, considering that the player was so close to him, that's like, and you must have like some, you've got some crystal ball type reading as to know what's going to happen with the shot, because I thought it was headed for at least the post. It was going to either hit one side or the other with the post. So I thought that was what was going to happen.
No, just from just the memory in my mind's eye of watching it last night. To me, it didn't look like a shot that was going wide. As I said, I didn't see endless replays. I don't think I really bothered watching the aftermatch talk and like, you know what I mean?
It really wasn't. There wasn't
people
much
in the pub, like sort of thing. But me memory of it is that he hit it on target. But anyway, if that's what they want to say, if that's what they want to say to try and take it away from them, then we just have to.
I just think he was robbed. To be honest, just like Red Armchair Supporter says, I thought it was on target. When you look at it, you can see the directory of the direction of the ball, and then you could also see the net in front of it. And I'm like, oh, that's headed towards the goal. It did take a massive deflection. I will admit that, but that doesn't matter. The shot was initially headed towards the goal.
Yeah, for me, it's Wirtz's first goal for us. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not discounting it just because some arsehole like it, Sky or the PF, whoever it is that decides. It was at the P. I don't know what organisation it is. The FA decides on it. Some arsehole wants to do that.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. For me, it was his goal. Got us back in the game. I was a bit disappointing that we couldn't get a late winner because I really felt it might be on when we equalised. It was like, yes, come on, we can do this, but it never really looked likely the way they defended so deep that that it was hard for us to create chances all night long.
Yeah.
Hi, JK.
Hi,
bro. Hello. Hi, Lee. Hi, 12. Happy birthday to Diego today as well.
Yeah. Well, that's the segment where I was about to get into. I was just allowing for Lee to get his angst out, for our our 1-1 draw against a team we should have beaten. But before we even get into that kind of talk, let's before we get into tactics, transfers, and tables, because that's all going to be a part of the show. Like, I've got some really interesting topics tonight. I've done a couple. I've been, you know how I do a lot of research and reading on my own. Came across a couple of different takes, some on the internet, some via articles that I read. But before we start, I wanted to start with something far more important. Today would have been Diogo Jota's 29th birthday. This isn't a day that there isn't a day, I should say, goes by that his name doesn't echo somewhere in this club, in a song, in a replay, in a kid with a Jota shirt hitting that far post curler in the park, maybe, or something like that. There's not a day that passes where he isn't missed. Not as a footballer, but as a person, as a husband, father, a friend. We remember the goals, of course. The headers he had no right to win, considering how he's usually going up against taller individuals. The finishes where he'd freeze time in the box or shift half a yard and punish keepers with blinked for a second. The hat tricks, the big nights, the ruthless streak in front of goal that dragged us over the line more times than we can count sometimes, But more than that, remember the way he fit us. Quiet, focused, no drama, a worker, a killer in the box, a servant off it. He came into a forward line that I already had legends in it and never once complained, never once made it about him. He just put the shirt on and did the work. To his family, you will never walk alone. This club, this city, this fan base, we don't chant those words for nothing. We chant them because we live these words. Your pain, your pride, your memories of Diogo, they matter to us. We are so grateful that even for a brief time, he wore our badge and shared his talent and his joy with us. To our fellow Reds, it's okay to still hurt. I think it's okay that certain highlights feel different now. It's okay that tonight feels maybe heavier than a normal match day or episode, I should say. That's what love looks like when someone is gone, and we honor him by remembering him, by speaking his name, by cheering that kind of bravery and honesty in every player that pulls on this shirt. So tonight, before we start, I just wanted to say thank you to Jota for the goals, for the graft, for the smiles. You walk with us in every game, in every song, in every banner, forever a Red, forever in our hearts. Happy birthday, Diogo Jota. You'll never walk alone. That was something I wanted to say at least. And I'm sure I'll give a moment to both Lee and to JK for if they want to say something as well.
Yeah, we all miss him, don't we? He was very quickly one of my favourite players that we had because of how sharp he was in front of goal and some of the finishes he was capable of, which was just magic. He was so sharp in front of goal and such a clinical finisher when he was in his pomp, and on his game. That I just loved seeing him, loved watching him. The injuries become frustrating for him, and for us, who were fans of him as a player. But yeah, we'll always think of him, And then, he'll never leave us type of thing. He'll always be a Liverpool player, now. Happy birthday to him, and God rest his soul, and bring peace to his family and that, hopefully. His family are okay and, get as well as he can be in the situation, I hope they're coping okay and that everyone's come together for them.
Yeah. It's a difficult thing to talk about. It can definitely get you a little choked up. But JK, do you want to say something before we get into tonight's episode?
Yeah, for sure. For me, his professionalism, always had a cheeky smile on his face, and he was always it was put a shift in. Like when he played, he weren't lazy. He always gave his 100%. And for me, he was like, he scored goals, won us like that Tottenham game, 4-3, last minute after we were winning 3-0. That's Jota, you know, Portuguese international. And I was looking for, like, look at his age, bro. He would have been 29. So he has a good four years left in him, you know. He would have gone to the World Cup as well next year.
Yeah, that's something Robbo spoke on too. That was very touching, the way he mentioned it.
You know, and I always say, like, it took me a couple of months to get over that, bro. That's me.
Yeah.
I've seen Jota play live, yeah, but I've never met him. So if it took us fans, that imagine seeing him every day going training, like he'll play pranks with the in the changing room, whatever. So he's one of the boys, bro, and
he is. He totally is. Yeah.
So you're trying to tell me that professional footballers try to get back to a level of football to when they had that on their shoulders, you know, they're gonna miss him, bro. So for me, that's why for me, certain players, not mentioning names and that, it would have been hard for them to concentrate on football straight away. Absolutely. 100%. So for me, rest in peace, his brother as well, Andre. I wish him the best, bro. Sad time, but today would have been his birthday, so happy birthday to him. And hello to Lee Wiz Kid, Red Armchair, Eric in the chat as well.
Yeah,
definitely Bonkers in the chat. Big up to you as well.
Bless up, Bonkers. Yeah.
Oof. Yeah, it's every day should be an opportunity to rejoice in the memories that we bring to each other. So let's make the most of these days that we have them.
That's it, bro. I was going to say that at the end. You just said it about appreciating life. Every minute you got of life, enjoy it, be happy, you know?
Yeah. So, all right, let's just jump right into this episode. Let's talk about the way this club is being spoken about on and off the pitch. So there was this piece that I saw, and I guess it's kind of like my rebuttal to Jamie. But Jamie Carragher's been busy again this time, telling us that selling Luis Díaz was "quote unquote" a good deal. But that wasn't the portion that triggered me. The portion that triggered me was that he said he was very good but not great, and he was never at the level of a Bobby or a Mane or a Salah. And I'm like, that to me was beyond the point of what, like, as in diminishing a player because he's not at the level of some world-class legend of the club does not mean that they're any bit less of a player, in essence, I think. And that's why I'm saying a lot of what I see a lot on the internet lately has been just that, a lot of revisionary history. You don't have to rewrite history to justify the present. Luis Díaz walked into a Liverpool side that was creaking physically and emotionally. He injected life into this team. He pressed like a madman, dribbled at people when the rest of the team had gone passive, played key roles in cup finals and big European nights. Did he hit prime Mane levels over a full cycle? I'm not going there with that, no. But who he has or who he was is something different, because you can ask yourself, who has hit Mane levels? Who could hit Mane levels possibly? That's not the bar for being great to me, or for being worthy of respect. We can acknowledge two truths at once. The fee Liverpool got for Díaz, given his age and contract situation, was sensible football business. It is paying off, then some, for Bayern Munich currently. And at the same time, he's one of the most important wide players of the post-Klopp rebuild era and deserves to be spoken about like that, period. Calling him very good but not great isn't analysis to me. It's scoreboard talk dressed up as hindsight, Jamie. Because if Díaz had this exact Bayern output, 12 goals, 6 assists in 19 games, undefeated for most weeks, for us right now, he'd be hailed as a savior. not dismissed as a Bundesliga merchant. And then we pivot to Salah. We all know Jamie's obsession with Salah. I don't get it, but I don't get it at all. Way he obsessed over trying to sometimes take little pot shots at Salah here and there. But the line of thinking is basically Díaz was just good and Salah's in decline. So the club were right to cash in, right to sideline, right to move on. And I'm like, I don't think that's correct. If anything, we're seeing a club that could be utilizing those qualities that we're missing currently. Fight, dribbling, the initial ability to take on players. Just the workload that he puts on his shoulders was immense. What we're watching isn't a natural death of a front line. It's a tactical identity crisis. It's burnout, it's injuries, it's over-reliance on a 33-year-old superstar while we rip the engine out of the team and install a new one mid-flight. So I'm gonna land here. I know my this one is a little bit long, but I'll give you guys the floor completely to go with this. But Salah's numbers have dipped, yes. But this is literally the first season since he arrived where he hasn't been outrageously statistically while carrying dysfunctional phases of play behind him. One poor half season doesn't erase 7 years of excellence or mean his legs are gone. It means the team structure around him has malfunctioned. And he looks human in a broken machine. And this is where I really think Jamie's off base. He's trying to justify every difficult decision by downgrading what came before. Díaz wasn't great. Salah is maybe on the decline. The old guard are all yesterday's men. But when most himself speaks, he doesn't talk like that. He said it himself. He said, we can appreciate the new players and the new direction while still honoring the ones who built the platform, the ones who took us back to the summit. That's the energy I'm rocking with. We can love our former players without desecrating their memory or importance to justify whatever new path the club is walking on now.
No, you're right. I was a big fan of Díaz, and Lee Whiskid's right when he said that Lucho would single-handedly drag us up the pitch when we couldn't get out. He was like the best at, sort of like pushing the opposition back with his direct running. That was a big feature of last season. And it was throughout his time here that he pushed teams back. He made them drop deeper, which gave us more space then behind to play in. And we do miss that. A lot of people have had a go at him since he's gone, saying, oh, he's a money grabber and he wanted to go here and there. And that may be true, but I really liked him as a player. I liked his skill set and the way he went about things. But times are changing. I was talking to a few different people last night, having a drink. One of the lads was talking to used to be a steward at Anfield, so he's seen a lot of Liverpool up close, working at the ground. And he reckons we shouldn't have sold Díaz. He never should have sold Díaz. He was having about a few things, but that was one of the things he said.
Sure, I'm sure.
So it's it's definitely a feature of this season that we're missing that. We're also missing like Trent's creativity. Well, it's yes, we're missing it, but we're trying to evolve, aren't we? And that's one of the problems of trying to evolve, maybe too quickly. I don't know, but there's several things we're missing from last season. But it's just something we've got to accept, isn't it? That we are in a little bit of transition here, and as long as good things come at the end of it, I'm okay. I'm still quite hopeful. I thought last night was reasonable. I didn't go off my head about it. I was disappointed we couldn't get our noses in front, but I thought it was a reasonable game in that we didn't look crap or anything in it. Their goal was quite fortunate, and they didn't attack us that much.
But last night, I'll say this, and I want to get JK's opinions on it. Last night, just to not necessarily push back, but just to emphasize or refocus what I think is important is that when I bring up this Lucho comment, if anything, last night or our past game, I should say, is especially a game. It was last night, by the way, but it was a game that was tailor made for Lucho. So often when we would play, I remember making this comment. It was like it was during the Klopp era too, by the way, and I got a little pushback from some of the Bayesian Reds on this one, but I was doing my defense of Lucho as normal, but all the same, I was speaking on the fact that we played Everton, and when we played Everton that game, it was the game that Ashley Young got a red card because he was like, he was just all over the place. Do you remember the game I'm talking about by any chance? Yes, no to the panel?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the one where he was like, he had Ashley Young on skates. Like he was making him look stupid.
Yeah, I do remember.
And
that was a good,
and in that game, the amount of touches, the amount of emphasis, the emphasis of where the ball was being played through was through Lucho. Lucho was absolutely putting them on some mad fronts, and they just couldn't handle him. And that's what we lack. Unfortunately, right now at this stage, Mohamed Salah doesn't bring that kind of chaos that we need. If there was anything that you could say, and I think maybe this is why, one of the reasons why maybe the two were such good friends, other than obviously speaking Spanish and being from South America, having some cultural, nuances between the two of them. I just thought that Nunez, who was the, captain of chaos, and Díaz, who could create his own bit of chaos, the reason why they were so dynamic sometimes together was because you couldn't really ever put their game in a box. You couldn't necessarily say, "Oh, we just need to do this, and we don't have to worry about this player." It was you never knew, what it was. They were like a box of chocolates. You never knew what you're gonna get, right? So I saw Forrest Gump there, but when it's for Lucho would have been fantastic against that setup last night, because one thing we lacked was a player that could go and take on their back line, be able to dribble. What was scary about this? And then I'll pass this on. I'll pass this baton on to JK. What was scary about last night was that the entire time, especially even when we got scored on, the only way that I thought that we were going to score, and this is my perspective, was if we got a penalty. I thought that the only way we were probably going to score against this team is if we had someone that showed the kind of footwork that Wirtz did to create his goal in the box, and we're going to have a player that gets kind of reckless, gets overwhelmed by the situation, and maybe fouls a player in the box. That was the one direct way I saw us getting a goal. One of the few ways I saw us getting a goal, because we weren't creating anything else. That's kind of sad, but that's the reality. And Lucho was one of those players. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Do you think that Jamie's criticism of Salah or even Lucho this season ignores the tactical and structural issues affecting the whole team, JK? Or we have JK with us, maybe? Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Can you just repeat the last sentence?
Basically, I'm saying, is Jamie undervaluing what Lucho brought to Liverpool by calling him very good but not great?
Yeah, you know what Carragher's like, bro. I even went to Carragher's last game for Liverpool.
Okay.
I don't really pay attention to.
Oh wait, does he have a pub in England too?
I'm not sure. I know in New York, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh wait, so you're in New York?
No. Last game, his game for Liverpool, he played.
Oh, okay.
Carragher's for Liverpool, he played.
I thought you said that you went to his bar or his pub. That's why I was kind of.
For the club, last game for the club.
Yeah. Because he has his own pub in New York. I know that.
Yeah. I've heard about it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But all in all, bro, sports people on TV, I don't really pay attention to them. I don't really need to be told what I think about a player. If they got valuable information, yeah, fair play. But opinion-wise, I make my own opinion about players. I'll listen to like you told me about Diaz back in the days, and I wasn't Diaz's biggest fan.
Yeah.
And then you
yeah,
like JK, I see this in him, this, that, and the other. And then I paid attention to that. And then now I was thinking, you know what? We lack that guy in the team who could hold on to the ball for longer than 5 to 10 seconds, bro.
That's the one you put me onto that. Like as in when you were saying about how he's a player that allows for us to regain our shape. I was like,
Big time.
that was such a on point. That's why like I enjoy the fact of like learning from others. I was like, that's a spot on statement. I thought.
I mean, you look at the
And not
games,
many
bro.
players can say that.
And he's one of the best at it. Man City, you've got what's his name, Doku, who does that for him. But for me, Diaz was one of the best at it. He's having a good time in Munich. And at the end of the day, bro, I thought for a long time he probably loved playing for Liverpool, but I think he just wanted to move. It didn't matter what we offered him, whatever it was. I just think he wanted to change the scene.
I honestly thought that he would have gone. I think that the offer was too light in the britches, considering what he'd been playing on reportedly for so long. I think that he knows that this is his last big contract, so he had to make a big time signing, and he wanted to probably make up a little bit for playing, possibly being underpaid before as well. A lot of I know his contract was probably a little more incentive laden. He probably has some incentives involved in those things. That's what I'm hearing. Konate, for instance, is trying to go against signing. Like our team's offering him a more incentive sided package, and he wants more guaranteed money. So that's just my perspective. I'm not ITK, and I'm not sitting there looking at the paperwork that they're handing him over for the contracts, despite my my Team Lucho aspect of my life. But yeah, that's just my perspective. But you're right, though. He got an incredible deal from Bayern. JK, you're absolutely right about that. The deal that he got was absolutely exceptional.
And it's a good club for him to go to as well. You know what I mean?
It was an excellent club for him to go to. It's interesting too, because I mean, for those that they're all making the point about saying, "Oh, well, he was good, but he wasn't great." At least that's what Jamie's saying. Yet Bayern Munich is the same club that reached out and bought Mane, eventually let him go, and then what do? They go and buy Lucho. So he had to be at some level of greatness for Bayern Munich, one of, if not the best club in Germany currently, especially right now they are.
Yeah.
For them to go after Lucho and give him that kind of a deal, I think that's just kind of.
I'm pleased for him. It's working out at Bayern. I always wish our ex-players well. As long as they gave their best for us, which he did. He was always all in games. You know what I mean? He's one of those all-in players, like that wore his heart on his sleeve, running around, going off his head and that, like when he didn't get decisions or whatever. But he was great for us. He scored some really tasty goals. I loved it when we hadn't had him long, and then we took to playing him on the left and Mane through the middle with Salah on the right, and the pace and the danger in that attack. Like, we got used to Bobby in the middle, but when he pushed Sadio in there, we looked great, didn't we? Yeah, and we went to Paris that way.
It's a whole different dynamic.
Formation.
A whole different dynamic.
Loved it. Yeah, I thought we looked so dangerous then and exciting. Loved it, yeah. So
I think
I'm really glad for him. Yeah, it's going well at Bayern. Glad for the lad.
That's the reason too. Exactly what you said. I think that's the reason why I got kind of triggered when he said those statements, because I'm sitting there going like, to say that you're not recognizing some of the incredible dynamics that he brought to our team that we're missing currently. That is a difference maker in our win or loss record, to be honest with you. We're all screaming about tracking back, press, about the effort, the energy, the level of intensity. All those things you could never question in Lucho. You can never question that in Lucho. And that's why it's so funny when you do see and hear someone like Jamie saying those comments. I'm like, you can appreciate Lucho for what he brought. He left as a Premier League champion, something that Jamie, you never did, So like, is it that you're kind of like just showing a little bit of like, oh, I don't know what it is when it comes to that. It's a weird vibe sometimes when he's trying to be a little bit more pundit than he is.
Yeah, well, he likes to go in hard on Liverpool players, and like he likes to do that thing of like, oh yeah, just because I'm a Liverpool man, I'm not going to like say good things about Liverpool constantly. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
He goes too far sometimes, but I do like him. He's all right, Jamie.
Oh,
like,
it's not. I'm not saying I don't like Jamie.
He's become a bit too
on
close to that dickhead Gary Neville, like kissing his ass, like on Sky. But you know what I mean? It's a living. The guy gets paid well for doing it. Like, he probably disinfects himself when he goes home after sitting next to Gary Neville.
Wow, I don't know about that. That's not me talking, Jamie. I don't have that much. I don't have that much angst against you. But big up, Nalante. Big up. How are you, my brother?
Bless, bro. Nalante. That's cool.
Yeah, big up yourself, 12. JK as always, and Lee. Good old Lee. Scouts Lee. Big up Lee. Big up the panel. Yeah, I know Lee, innit? Yeah. Big up the panel, and yeah, I mean, I just don't know where we go from here. It's we're in the mud. We really are in the mud, big time.
We're going to talk a little bit more. We're going to definitely get more involved in the level of the quick. I don't even know if it's mud. It feels more like quicksand that does mud, to be honest with you. Mud is just that. It's all well good. At least you can get through it. Quicksand, it seems like you start. You're trying to get out of this hole, and it just keep on dropping down. But I'm going to say this. So, and this is another thing about Jamie's comments. I told you I'm going to. There's some things that triggered me about some of Jamie's comments lately, and what was really wild is Sam Allardyce was critical and went at Jamie Carragher. So since we're on the subject of hot takes, Sam Allardyce, of all people, has come flying in, I mean, like on some two-footed style, like kung fu kick, at Jamie for that Salah's legs have gone comment. Now, I don't usually roll out the red carpet for Big Sam. I'm not necessarily a Big Sam fan, but on this one, maybe he'll get a thumbs up from me about sticking up for what he had to say. He said, "How can his legs go from what he did last year, have the summer off, and then his legs go this year?" I don't know exactly what Jamie's really trying to bring about, but it doesn't happen overnight. What we're seeing with Mo, with Verge, with a bunch of them is, I don't think not necessarily Father Time all of a sudden dropping an anvil on them in August. It's a new system. It's the running patterns. It's less control in the midfield. It's a manager, figuring out what the levers are. It's what we just spoke on. The sheer fact that today is a day for a memory of one of their fallen brothers. And of course, Salah looks worse when he gets fewer clean one-on-one situations, and Van Dijk isn't pinging those diagonals as often, and the press behind him is disjointed. But I don't think that's legs gone. That's structure gone. Jamie's throwing his legs have gone out. It's not exactly brave analysis. I just think it's lazy shorthand. It gets clicks. Yes, absolutely. It gets clipped, but it doesn't tell the truth. Mo Salah has even better language than that. So have we as a fan base, and we have to do our part in trying to make sure that we don't have to rely on Big Sam to go at Jamie as he tries to basically undercut our legends. So I'm gonna ask you.
That's why I don't take these guys serious, bro. For me, without the respect, football's nothing, bro. It's a joke because one day you're loving a player because he banged a hat trick in. A week later, you're moaning because he missed a penalty. You know?
Yeah.
So that's humans, man. Fucking joke. And that's why I, as a Liverpool fan, and Norman, you, Nalante, Lee, we respect the players, even though might not be the greatest players, bro. Unless they do something disrespectful, show a bit of respect.
Yeah.
Football thrives on this, building players up and then knocking them down.
Simple.
And,
do to their own, bro. England.
Yeah, the current trend is to have a bit of a go at Mo, and he's like Mr. Sky, Mr. Liverpool on Sky. So, what I want to hear what he says and that. And like I say, he goes a bit too far sometimes to try and prove that, he'll say bad things about Liverpool. But
right.
As I say, it's a living for the man, isn't it? He was a great player. The way he played was brilliant. So I've got maximum respect for his opinions because
absolutely.
He wasn't the most gifted player, and I love players
like that.
He was a
company man.
Yeah, he didn't actually have that many great gifts, Jamie, but he was just such a battler, and he just made himself a really good centre half. He's from around here as well, and so that was another reason that they'd like him originally. Right. But I like them sorts of players, make themselves something, much better than what they necessarily were. Not a great player and that, but he has a great career. So I do respect him when he says things
Okay, so do you think that I have a question for Nolante, but I'll ask you a quick follow-up then for what you just said. Was Sam Allardyce right to call Jamie's legs gone comment pathetic? Because that's what he did. He said he called it pathetic. Or did he go too far? Did Sam Allardyce go too far in saying in his defense of I'm asking you, Lee. I'm asking you.
No, if he wants to say that, that's fine. He was a centre half as well, Allardyce. He's a much bigger man, but he was a centre half. Nah, it's all right if he says that. That's okay. I was at Carragher's debut actually against Aston Villa, and he scored. He played defensive midfield that day, scored a header, and his celebration was dead funny. But he was at the other end from where I was. His goal,
you went debut. I went to his last game, Lee. That's mad.
Yeah. Good career.
I'll ask Nolante, how much of Salah's dip in output is down to Salah, and how much is down to the team around him being unbalanced or just, unharmoniously gelled?
Both are true. I think it's more for me down to Salah than the team because everyone talks about cover and double this. It's a different team ethic, but his role, hasn't really changed that much. And he's had times he's had a sub or someone. He's played with Bradley before, so Bradley's not like a annuity. So yes, tactics have changed, but his role haven't changed. Slot has tried it. He just hasn't hit form. So tactics and team, but it's more himself, to be honest.
Okay. Do you guys want to comment? You want to add a little your 2 cents before we move on, or did you want to?
Yeah, I'll quickly say I agree with what Trudon says about he can't get his first touch right, and that's what it's been like all season, bro. When you're trying too hard to get into the game, what happens? Your first touch goes, and he's had that for a long time now.
Say that again. Yeah, say that again. Oh, big up to Hyler, by the way. Hyler, we haven't seen Hyler in a while.
Long time.
I've been saying for weeks about Salah that it isn't just him. It's a nexus of contributory factors. The new players, the evolution to the way we play. He hasn't got Trent behind him anymore. He's got different players in the centre. And we're just struggling as well. We're struggling, and none of the players some of the players are looking worse than others, and he probably stands out because he's been our main man for so long. And this is the problem when you're such a good player, that any drop-off is immediately pounced upon. Is it over for this guy? Has he still got it in him? And all this shit.
Exactly.
He still got it.
Yeah.
I get you. I get
I've seen it in the comments, like, you know, on different channels, and I've people saying, "Oh, he's done now. He's got nothing left in him." But I beg to differ. I think he can come back from AFCON, and if we're playing better, then, you know, he might not get straight back in the team if we're playing well while he's at AFCON, but I think he can come back and have a return to some sort of form anyway. You know, games that we're winning, because you notice less when we're winning. You know, if we're winning, even if he isn't scoring, everyone's still happy, aren't they? So we'll wait and see. But I think there's a good chance that he'll come back from AFCON and we'll get a good second half of the season out of him.
Okay.
You know, January
hold that thought, because there are some things. I'm going to get into the injuries that we're going through right now. Then that is a good segue. I wish you had said that later, because then it's going to be a good segue into the next piece. But injuries and things, and you know, and this comment that I heard. Shout out to the Cop TV, to AGT and all the crew, Doyle and those guys that do that show, that do the interviews outside of the pitches, you know, outside of Anfield with the fans coming out of the game. Give a voice to those that are the match going fans. But let's bring it back to this weekend and what's in front of us. The injuries, obviously, we have Connor, who was out for Sunderland. I think he might be back for Leeds. I'm hoping. He's been returned to training. I'm hoping he'll be back for Leeds. That'll be great to see. I don't know if he'll play or start, but that's still good. There was the talk about Frimpong still being out, but hopefully back in training next week. I know that they did say that he's like a week out from Connor's return, was what I read. What's great to hear is that apparently Leone is scheduled to make a return to training in January. So that's positive. I'm not looking for him to, you know, be some savior or be someone that you know, is actively in the rotation. I'm just happy to see that his recovery is going well enough for him to be able to be ahead of schedule for his recovery. Wirtz and Isak both back. I thought Wirtz was looking sharp. Isak here and there, getting a little bit more fine-tuned, but nowhere near ready for, you know, the 390s in a week type rotation. So rotations are most likely coming. We saw that Gomez got subbed out of the game, did a great job at right back, in my opinion, but we're hanging a lot on him fitness-wise. But this is a squad held together with tape and hope in certain areas. That's the reality. And into that reality, we get this clip that I just mentioned from Cop TV. They did a segment where they had a guy named JT live. He's a Leeds fan, and he made these immortal words. He said, quote, "And of course, you want to be there live when we absolutely dispatch Liverpool. Either to give me grief or to sit there and see James was right about Anton." Those are two people, I guess, associated with the show. But he goes, so we are going to dispatch Liverpool. We're going to dispatch Liverpool. Let's say it again. It's going to be easy work. It's going to be the easiest game he's ever seen. That's where we are. That's the level of respect and fear this badge currently commands. For everyone who spent the last few years snickering at any mention of Klopp's value, ask yourself this. Was there ever a period under him where relegation threatened sides publicly spoke about dispatching Liverpool like we're a routine home banker? Was there ever a stretch where a newly promoted team walked into Anfield saying, we couldn't believe the space we had, how easy it was to play through them? Did anyone at the bottom of the league ever call us easy work at our home? Never. In the likelihood of in the time I've watched this team, I've never really ever heard that ever be mentioned. At least in the last 10, 15 years, I haven't. Because even when we're off it, the aura was there. The fight was there. The fear was there. When we were dealing with now and what we're dealing with now, we need a complete U-turn in mentality. Whether it's players, especially the staff, I don't know what this coaching staff is doing in their talks, in their presentations, but they got to recognize what Liverpool culture is. We as a fan base should do some of that as well. OGs like yourself in the chat are the reasons why I have hope for our fan base. Why I have hope is because of these three guys here that are above me here. I have hope because when I hear them talk, they talk about the history, they talk about the culture, they talk about things that are relevant and do represent our badge. And that's, again, not just on the players and managers, on us as well, because from day one of this journey that I've been making with this club, the culture has always been support the club, support each other, Reds family first. And I get it with the internet, with the algorithms, with clout chasing. It feels like we split into two tribes. We had a little bit of it yesterday on the show. That's the reason why I'm kind of bringing this up. The match going and the supporters club Reds, you know, like myself, who still live the culture in the flesh and the online ecosystem of where there's grifters, there's trolls and brand accounts that farm negativity for engagement. I want to be a part of changing that. And I think that these guys have been immensely incredible partners in doing so. You in the chat, the element, the auras that you take, not only from this channel, but when you go to other channels and you try to present that as the essence of what we are as a fan base, as a club, I think is immensely important.
Now, we need positivity at the moment. Negativity is okay up to a point, but if you just wallow in it, like, you know what I mean, that's no good. Arnie's the manager, whether you like it or not, whether you rate him or not, whether you think he has a future or not. He is our manager at the moment, and you've just got to back him and believe in him and the players. Yeah.
I heard this guy. I heard one of the guys on Cop TV said it himself. He was saying that like he's not like, you know, he's at the point, I believe he said that he was a slot out person, you know, but when he goes to the grounds and they're singing, you know, the Arne Slot song, he joins in.
Look, here's the thing. If you slot out like who's his replacement, then who's coming in, that, you know, it begs that one simple question, doesn't it? If you slot out who takes over, when does it happen? Is this guy available? This new man to replace him? At the moment, it doesn't look like it is. So just support him and try and believe in him.
I think you're spot on. Let me just end my little rant here then, and then you guys can chime in with your feelings. For this channel, I just want to make sure because yesterday there was a whole thing in the chat and it was kind of you know, disruptive a little bit and this and that. But then after we went on our little rants, it kind of settled and the person actually got in line with trying to have a sensible conversation. Because I've always wanted this channel, this show, this little community that we have to reflect the real DNA of Liverpool. I wanted honest criticism. I wanted standards. I wanted all of the above, but always I wanted us to be together. I always wanted us never delighting in our own downfall for views. This weekend is huge, not just because of points, not just because of slot, just because not even because of the narrative. Under Klopp, we went from doubters to believers. Right now, it feels like we're walking the other way. It feels like we're going from believers back to doubters. We cannot let that become our new identity. The mentality reset has to come from the pitch, obviously, and the stands and the fan base everywhere in every fashion of the word.
Yeah,
I just wanted to make sure I said that.
When we went through bad patches under Klopp, which did happen, he could come out, you know, and soothe allay people's fears with some Klopp speak, like, you know, with a few interviews and that, and saying things, you know, to get people's confidence up and that. But Arnie's not so much that guy, like that. Where his persona's a bit different, like. So that's something to think of as well, like. But look, I've been gutted recently how the way the season's gone, and I did not expect it to go this way. After the good start we had. But look, you just got to stick with it, haven't you? You just got to stick with it. And, I think it is a transitional period because we've got we've got a lot of big new players coming and, they're trying to find their way, aren't they? Like, Verts is getting there slowly but surely, I believe. He's out now. It's starting to get there a bit, like with that finish at West Ham. And we just need everyone to chip in, like, and do their bit, don't we? I didn't think.
I agree with that.
It was frustrating last night, but I found quite a bit of encouragement in it, especially that we were able to equalise after going behind late on. I was encouraged by that. Like, shame we couldn't finish them off. But,
I know. Brian almost he got half his wish. He got half his wish. I know he wanted to see us, regain that swagger by battling back, and I can understand that perspective, and I can respect that perspective.
Hey, Leeds beat Chelsea, didn't they? 3-1.
They did. They did.
Yeah, that's where we're off next, isn't it?
Yeah, but which is my trans, or it's a good segue to what I had to ask Nalante. Nalante, what does it say about Liverpool's current mentality, or maybe even aura, that a Leeds fan confidently claims that they are going to dispatch Liverpool this weekend? Oh, you're on mute too. You're on mute.
Yeah. Well, I mean, can you blame them? Can you blame them? Can you blame anyone at this precise moment? He's every right to feel that way. They just had a great result against Chelsea, and looking at the performance last night,
they're sitting on 12 points, by the way.
Yeah,
they're sitting on 12 points, and with a negative 10 goal differential. But
But to be fair, I've seen Leeds and they've played well. It's just conceding goals. Unlucky against City. There's another game I forgot. Before the Chelsea game, I think Spurs, they played well against Spurs. So yeah, I mean, you can't blame them really because we just outsourced, and you won't. I'm sad to say, you won't be surprised if we dropped another point, and that might be the final nail in the coffin. So again, he has every right to say that. It's that to us, the players and the manager, to prove him wrong, to shut him up. It's pretty simple like that, black and white. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. It's just, oh, wow. I get that you're definitely feeling yourself after beating Chelsea, who was supposed to be a possible title contender this season. I don't think that Chelsea is going to contend with the title. I thought that I did preseason think that they would contend for top 4. That much I'm not going to dispute. I thought that they would have a much better year than they had the previous year before that. But yeah. Leeds not an easy place to play too. No field, no pitch is easy to play in the Premier League, no matter where you're going. Every fan base is going to make it unhospitable for you to be there.
I'm not asked. We've got better players, so there.
There you go.
Unfortunately, it hasn't translated into wins. Unfortunately, because he's playing like dog crap. They're playing like 2010 Roy Hodgson.
All that bear pit stuff. So what? We went to Newcastle, didn't we? That was a good one because that was a bear pit that night. The Díaz thing. I mean, to play them that early in the season after them going off their heads about Díaz was a mad one, and to get out of there with a win was great, wasn't it? Why can't we do it? And somebody said before we haven't lost at Leeds for ages, and we haven't because it's not been the harder place to get. I mean, we won 6 something there, didn't we? I remember watching that.
No, we won 6. Yeah, we won 6.
Yeah, that was 22-23 season. Yeah, I remember that last time we started to claw back. Yeah.
But the only so many times you can say that. Oh, we've always got results there when you're in a bad run, because all that stuff goes out the window when you're on a bad run, and every game's tough. But, you know, at least we got a draw because it's something we haven't managed yet this season, right? A draw.
Okay.
Draw, wasn't it?
It's one way to look at it, I guess. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. It's our first draw. Well, we're not trying to make a habit of doing
Look,
those
it was
either.
very frustrating not to beat them. But Sunderland, you can see why they've got so many points. You can see why they've had a good start to the season and they are as high in the table as they are. You could see all that last night. They were very obstinate, weren't they, and hard to make chances against. Like, they stuck to their task really well. Because I looked at a lot of their play, you know, I didn't see that much brilliance from it, you know, and what he's done with them players is like really good. This fella, the way he's got them performing. Arsenal couldn't beat them, and Arsenal are beating everybody at the moment. Chelsea got beaten by them, didn't they? So let's not shit our pants over this result. You know, they are a decent team at the moment.
I think maybe the difference of why it's a little bit frustrating is because, yes, I get it. Sunderland, again, I said to myself, I said Sunderland was going to be a bigger testament to our, you know, our gauge of where we are in the coming back gauge, I guess. Then that was going to be more of a testament than the West Ham game. West Ham is away, I understand that, but we're losing games at home. That's a concern. I mean, we've gone years without losing games at home, and all of a sudden we're doing, you know, back-to-back, you know, losing games in Champions League, losing games in Premier League. That was a concern. And for a team like Sunderland to say the comment that their coach said, that was a real concern to me. Surprised at how much space and how easy it was to play, how comfortable they allowed us to be. That should never be. You should never feel, as an opposition player, you should never feel comfortable playing at Liverpool. At least that's my perspective. Well, look, there was a take. This is the transition, I guess, from something earlier that Lee spoke on, and he spoke on about the fact of, oh, well, let's get Salah back. Let's get him back healthy from AFCON, see where we're at when we do. Are we going to even have Salah back after AFCON? And I don't mean by injury. I would never wish that on any player, much less our own. But I'm saying, is Salah going to be a Red by the end of January? Dean Saunders weighed in on this, saying Salah will be angry at being left out while 5 underperforming teammates start ahead of him. He name-checked Cody. He name-checked Verts. He name-checked Ekitike. He name-checked Isak. He name-checked Curtis. Basically, he's saying Mo's looking around thinking, how am I the one on the bench? And these guys are getting to play. Saunders is probably right about one thing, or maybe even Salah might be right about one thing, because of course Salah's fuming. If he wasn't furious about being dropped, I'd be worried. I'd be like, that's not the Salah that any of us know. But this guy is built differently. He's obsessed with goals. He's obsessed with influence. He's obsessed with excellence. Being benched in a crisis will hurt. But this idea that Slot has now created a breaking point, or that this automatically pushes Mo out the door in January or the summer, I don't know if that's the case. But some want to bring it there. I'm saying pump the brakes. Before I even get into the rest of what I have to say, what are your thoughts? Do you think that Salah is going to be with us? I can see Nalante's eager to maybe answer that. He brought himself on camera for it. So I'll put Nalante on the hot seat first.
No, go JK.
JK. Look at him passing the hot potato. He's passing the hot potato to JK. There you go. That's just a saying we have here, but the hot potato is like a game you played in elementary school.
Yeah, we know of that. We know of the hot potato.
Oh, you know? Okay, you've heard
yes.
Okay. Let's see if we get an answer out of JK. He's on mute right now. Let me see if we get an answer out of JK. I think JK is letting the hot potato pass him by.
Okay, I'll go.
All right.
I don't think personally that we'd be looking to sell him in January, but I do think there's an increasing chance that we'll cash in on him in the summer. Given the wages he's on, they might want to lighten the low wages wise in the summer. Whether they do or not is another matter entirely, but I don't see it as early as January. Personally, I would be very, very surprised if we sold him in January. Stranger things have happened, but I don't think this is going to be one of them.
You said what you said is I can reckon with, but if we're going to lighten the load, not only his wages, because he's making £400,000 or something like that, right? If we're going to do it because we're trying to lighten the load wage-wise, that's one thing. But value-wise, his value is never – every day we go longer in holding off on maybe making that transition, his value goes down. And I don't mean because the player is this or that. I just mean that because his value will decrease simply because his contract is getting shorter and shorter. Well, I'll tell you, you got the hot potato in your lap here. What's the word?
The word is.
I know this is gonna be. So. If you've got children, you might want to get them out of the room for this evaluation.
No, this is. I'll sum this pretty quick. JK, where you at? JK, stop playing hot potato in the background. JK, where you at? He's busy. All right. Look. Mo's a tricky. I don't think he's going to go in January. I don't think so. I think the club won't sell him. I'll be shocked if he goes in January. The only way I see him going at the end of the season is if I don't think the club will sell him at the end of the summer. I think the only way he goes if he said, you know what, I want to go. And then that's when the club said, all right, cool. Similar to Díaz, similar to Lucho, I think that's the only way. I don't see the club trying to sell him on. And in regards to Mo, it's hard because sometimes we talk about him. He's one of our main players. Again, when you do football teams, you talk about the best players in it. There's other components, but the Blaze stand out. So he's been getting a lot, but it's a whole team thing. Everyone has been poor, apart from one, maybe two. Again, they haven't had game time. But I think Mo it's a number of things with Mo. Obviously, we're honouring Jota, obviously, and it's obviously Jota has again, we're not excusing it, but we're just saying Jota has hit him harder than it has with some others. But it's all in different contexts, Right. It's all in different contexts. So, I'm sure he's still kind of struggling with that. We don't know the ins and outs. We don't know if the players are getting psychological help, but there comes a point where you stand up because at the end of the day, Diogo, bless him, I pray God willing he's in heaven, won't be happy with what he's seeing. Mm-hmm. He'd be thinking, boys, I understand, but pick up, this is Liverpool Football Club. Look at what we've done. And it could be again, he's getting old, so you're not going to have the electric pace, but he's just all game round. It's just off. And look, he was rightly dropped. No problem. People are going to complain. So, and then I thought, like most people thought, he's going to be brought back in, and he wasn't, which was the right thing to do. So I got no place as a team. He came on, and he just didn't affect the game. He just didn't. So he needs the break. So AFCON will be a good break from him. Away with Egypt, with his country. Hopefully he can win it. But when he comes back, we need the mode that we know and love to return, because if not, some deep discussions really. Some really deep discussions need to be had. So I think the break, for once, AFCON has come at the right time for him. So he can separate himself from the club, focus on his country. We can take a break, and hopefully he regains some form and be the Mo we can love. But yeah, it's a tricky one. only he can solve it. Slot can only, and again, as I keep saying 101 times, like I said, managers can only do so much, but these players are not babies. They're not babies. When you have a child, like I'm a dad, you put the nappy on, you got to do them, feed them, give them milk, etc. These players are not babies. They're grown ass adults, And yes, Slot instructs them to do, but they had to produce on the pitch. Certain things on the pitch, that's not a manager's control. That's the player to control. So all my figures, let's just hope Mo goes. He's been poor. Number of reasons. He goes, he gets formed back for Egypt and returns back a new man. Not the new man, but the Mo we need. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Tyler. That's Norm's new name and avatar is Retro LFC. He does he has his own channel and he does some great stuff on there. I'm sure JK can put his channel in there for you so that you can check it out. Subscribe,
yeah. He's got some good stuff on there. Some old school Liverpool stuff. Real top.
Yeah.
John Walk.
Yeah, meeting John Walk.
Video.
I remember that season when he was our top scorer. I've just got a memory of sitting in my mate's bedroom when I was a kid, listening to the match on the radio in Europe. Sadly, it was the season of Hansel, but he was our top scorer that season, John Walk. He outscored Ian Rush that season, which was interesting.
Yeah, I remember
that. Look, every great player at some point gets benched in a big moment. Every great manager at some point has to take a huge selection risk. We all know the fallout between Mane even spoke on it about it too as well, but the fallout between him and Klopp one time when Klopp had to make some hard decisions, whether it was for Mane, whether it was Salah, whether it was for even sometimes making decisions on Hendo or Bobby. But what matters isn't the drama and the headlines. It's the response on the pitch and in the dressing room. And Saunders might be right about something else. Salah's drop-off isn't happening in a vacuum. Virgil's diagnosed to him are less frequent. We all know that. We can talk about that. I'm sure tomorrow might not be the episode since I'll probably do a preview. But I know we'll have to start talking about Virgil and his decline or his decline in I wouldn't say ability, but in standards. The midfield balance has changed. The profiles around him, obviously there's no Hendo, there's no Milner, there's no Trent, there's no Ginny. There's his old role. They aren't there in the same way. You got this perfect storm, new manager, new teammates, new patterns, older legs, yes, but still elite quality legs, they could put that way. And instead of doing the hard work of explaining all of that, we get sometimes the lazy headlines of Breaking Point could quit in January, because that was something that triggered me. Is Mohamed Salah? I don't think he would quit on this team. But there are headlines out there suggesting that Mohamed Salah will quit the club. And when I mean quit, he's not going to, obviously put in his 2 weeks notice and just walk out the door. I mean that he's going to ask for a transfer. There are 7 clubs apparently that Salah could join. You can go Saudi, obviously, which offers more than 7. There's quite a few in Saudi Arabia that he could join. But he could go to MLS. Galatasaray's asked for his services. Barcelona is interested, especially with the Rashford situation. In MLS, San Diego put out a big offer for his services. We know the script. The speculation will never stop because it gets headlines and it gets clicks and it gets papers sold. And yes, that's still a thing for some of the youngins out there. There are newspapers. And my stance is this: Salah has earned the right to decide his future on his terms, I think. We as a fan base, we have to be responsible and we have a responsibility not to let every dip become a funeral and every benching become a goodbye tour, I guess. The club has a duty to build a coherent football structure that maximizes his last elite years or transitions respectfully, if any, and when he goes. But again, I don't want to trash the present to justify a future move. I already told you about what I felt about Lucho. I already told you about how I feel about numerous players that have gone on. You can say Salah is struggling and still world class, I think. You can say Díaz shown here and the real deal made sense. We can believe in Verts. We can believe in Isak, ATK, without needing Mo Salah to fail for them to succeed. But to the panel, is Salah right to feel frustrated about being benched when, in his opinion, or at least Saunders' opinion, when several teammates are going through similar stretches? And if not, some are playing below his level.
Look,
JK
bro, when
is
you're
back, by the way.
yeah, I'll be listening. When you're the greatest player of last season, top goals, top assists, and then all of a sudden you're on the bench for 2 games, you think something's not right. Of course, he's going to be down in the dumps. He's a go-getter, you know. For me, he's trying too hard, and he can't get his first touch right. His first touch is probably the worst I've ever seen it, and I can understand it because I've had that in a few games back in the days where I just couldn't get my touch right. So no matter how good you are, but I understand the frustration, bro. He loves playing football. If he could, he'd play every game, every minute of every game. Carabao Cup, FA Cup, everything. He's that type of guy. Thing is, right now we need him to be a team player because the team needs it. Not because like last season the team was great, so he could shine in that team. You know what I mean? Right now the team isn't great, so he ain't really shining as well, bro. So he needs to really get into that teamwork philosophy right now. Trying to work with Isaac, get closer to Isaac. You know, stuff like that, man.
Yeah, I still think that we should see. I think that there's an opportunity for Salah to be just that, what you said, which is, you know what, he could still be great. He could still be a legend. He could be even more of a legend by putting his ego to the side a little bit and just becoming more of a team player in essence, you know, sacrificing some of his team.
I feel he's big enough to deal with the criticism. I think he'll be okay, even though he knows he's coming under fire. Like I said, the team's just got to improve, and then I think maybe when he comes back from AFCON, we'll be in a better place, and then we can have a real go at the Champions League, hopefully, in the second half of the season, to cheer us all up. But yeah, I think he's big enough to deal with the criticism, and he'll do that. He's, as I said, the team's just got to start playing better. He has looked a bit lost lately on the pitch at times, and he is in poor form as well as the team being out of form. But he's far from being the only one. It's just that he's the biggest name because he's the name he is. There's a whole circus around it and around him, isn't it? Now. And it's manna from heaven for media, isn't it? This type of thing, and just our form in general for the media is, because we were champions and that, and people were predicting that we'd go on and retain the title at the beginning of the season after we made all them signings. The love and getting stuck into us and getting stuck into Mo Salah is just part of that, isn't it, for the media?
Well, Delonte, how should Liverpool handle the media noise about Salah's future? I think the biggest point or the biggest fear is how do they do it without destabilizing the dressing room? 0-0, by the way. Manchester United, West Ham, 0-0 in the halftime.
Come on, you hammers.
It's only a little bit of ray light, sunlight late, but there you go. How did they handle Mo? Look, I think we need to stop doing some people comparing the Slot to Klopp comparisons. Just leave that. Every coach is different. Just because Slot doesn't jump and do energetic high-five bunny jumps like Klopp doesn't mean he does other things well better than Klopp. So each manager deal with it. He might deal with it his own way. Maybe his coaches. That's why you got a team, a coaching team. So in regards to Mo, how to do it. Look, you just got to be real with these players. And unfortunately, there's not anyone apart from Sobel. But Sobel was a bit average last night. But that was his first game. He was poor. Oh wow, he's been our best player. Everyone's having stinkers. That's the problem. It reminds me of the 22-23 season when we finished fifth and we were getting battered, and near enough every player bar a few were all underperforming. So in terms of affecting the dressing room, again, that's down to the head coach. You just got to you've got to be right, strong, and again, Mo's not playing well. He has to be benched. The next player comes in, and the next player is not doing well. He has to be benched. Cody hasn't been 100%, but he's getting the goal. He's scoring. Mo's not. So Sobel's playing well. Wirtz is slowly coming into it, but it's the 0 goals and 0 assists is poor. I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting a bit right. And again, I know it's not about stats, and he's cut in the last 2 games, worked and bits of last night, but we need more, man. We can't be having a 110 million plan with no goals and no assists, and we're coming halfway. That's because if it was Nunes or someone else, then people will be having a go. So it's only fair. We've got to be through. Isak, he's still lacking sharpness, but it's worrying, man. It's again the touches and just not getting into the game, and these are £100 million signings. So Mo's got to suck it up, but unfortunately, Slot has not biting the bullet and playing Chiesa. And like again, it's easy money because it's again, football is not rocket science. If my player is playing bad for 4 or 5 games, I forget the name, you put the next best player in, and he's not getting a chance, unfortunately. And I'm gonna stop talking about him because we've done it so much to death. It's just getting. You have to wonder. So really and truly, he needs to. Like me personally, I'll start Chiesa and Endo on Sunday. I really would, but again, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. And Slot has dropped. To be fair, Slot has dropped players, and dropped McAllister. He's dropped all of them. Isak, arrested or whatever you want to call it. But those two, for love or no money, they can't get a game. And we're not saying they're going to be the saviors and everything is occupied, but play them. Jeez, you want a bit of bite. You know what yesterday reminded me. And again, we're revising, but last season was better, but it lacked a Hendo, it lacked a Genie in that game because Genie gets what's, and again I know we're going back. Genie gets very underrated. He gets swept under the kite. Genie was an all-rounder baller. On his day, he was the best in Europe. And obviously that's down to Klopp. He made him a world-class quality midfield machine. We needed a bit of hand. We needed a bite, but it was just sour. Even gravy was off it. So Slot, I don't know if it's maybe it's the tactics of Slot, or players are not alternating to his his tactics, what he wants from them. But something has to give. So for me, if Slot wants to have any chance of potentially saving his job, he just says, "You know what? I want the Japanese warrior. Put on your gum shield. You know what you do. Break bodies, put tackles in, boom, and put Chiesa on the net." Because again, and like I think Hyla said, big up Hyla, big up Norm. Hope you enjoyed last night with the dinner. So big up yourself, Norm. We need. I mean, if we can talk about skill. We need passion. Curtis Jones, remember the interview against PSV. I mean, it's great in hearing that you need to get in, but the players need to do it. Because if they don't do the basics, then they're not going to suffer. The manager will get sacked. Simple as. So it really is worrying times. And the running cone, like I said, today we're honouring the great, Diogo. And like I said, right now he's looking down and he must be disappointed for what he's seeing. And he wants his friends to what's the word? He wants his friends to get up, to stand up and be coward. And now's the time. Now's the time more than ever. We get what's happening, but this club needs you. The fans need you to be stand up and counted. Remember who you are. Last season, you were Premier League champions. No one gave us a chance. I don't care about the Klopp team, all that nonsense. Just put that aside. We won it. We were here. August kickoff. 450 million spent. Majority of people were happy with signings. I was happy bar 2 signings, but I was thinking, okay. And I said it, and I said no excuses this season. I want a back-to-back. We all want back-to-back. Even if we have an injury crisis, I don't care. We want a back-to-back, and we're not going to get that. So, I don't know. These players need to be scouted. And the win is, a win will be, again, something, but they need a run. Otherwise, it's going to be bye-bye, Arnie, and it won't be I'll be back. It'll be hasta la vista. Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Leeds could be his Waterloo, certainly.
Indeed.
JK, did you want to...
This piece of water.
Yeah, there you go. JK, did you want to say something before we go to the next topic then? No.
Yeah, bro. Like for me, bro, I watched the game yesterday. Like I haven't really said anything about Slot or anything in the last few weeks because at the end of the day, every game could be his last game. And the pressure comes from the media, hence why that Leeds fan can come out with comments like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a joke right now. Look, at the end of the day, I'm not a big fan of sacking managers, new manager sort of club like United and Chelsea have been for the last 20 years. Well, since Fergie left.
Right.
Yesterday was pretty poor, bro. The first half, I think this 4 could have got into that team and probably done better. We made Sunderland look like Real Madrid. You know?
Right.
And we've done that too many times this season. We've made okay teams look top quality. Liverpool, Anfield is a fear factor. You go into Anfield, you're thinking, you know what? I'll be happy if we let 3 in. You know? Now they're thinking, you know, I'll be happy if we get 3 points. So who's that down to? That's Slot. You know? How much more can we take of being too tame in the first half? You should be thinking, like, this is a new team.
Absolutely.
Who come up and, they're doing well against Arsenal, Chelsea, blah, blah. We're Liverpool, we're champions. Let's show these guys how the Premier League does it. What did you get that first half yesterday, bro? That didn't tell you. That showed me we're non-league status. That first, I could have played in that first half. I'm telling you now, I'll take Nalante as well. You know?
There you go.
So, like, what is going on? I think when you see people like Isaac and Salah not finding their feet, that shows the energy right now isn't right. Because for me, they're the best in the world, them two. And if them two can't find their feet, there's something not right.
I agree. I can understand what you're saying. I mean, like for me, you know what? If we have to wait to see a Chiesa come on to the pitch and run his butt off to basically save that game, because that's what he did by doing that goal line clearance, running his butt off and never giving up and clearing it off the line. There are other players that probably could have been at that moment or probably provided that moment, but it's a matter of how bad do you want it? You know, like how important is this to you? And what's wild about it too is I saw this comment and I agree with it. Out of all the players that work the hardest on this team, the player that is possibly being the most egregiously dealt with or handled is the player that is putting out the most heart and effort on the pitch when he gets the opportunities. Chiesa is absolutely embodying what a lot of us want to see out of all the players. And he is consistently stepped over, passed over, whatever you want to call it, you know, when it comes to selections. He certainly has played at a level high enough and certainly with intensity enough to be considered to get an opportunity to start in these games. And I don't mean to start like some, you know, random cup game. And he has certainly deemed himself more worthy than to be a substitute when we're down 3-0 in a game or something, when the game's already gone and dusted. Maybe if he's a part of that equation, we wouldn't be down 3-0. We would have gained back some of that momentum. But that's that coach making his decisions and his decisions alone. It's his decisions completely that are the ones that are going to deem whether he's going to have a job. So he gets to make those big decisions, but we can certainly criticize them or critique them. Look, Van Dijk made some comments. He said Van Dijk made some comments, made some program notes before the Sunderland game that were interesting to me. They didn't really carry as much weight after the Sunderland game. But honestly, it was a reminder of what proper captaincy sounds like. He talked about Isak. He said he's had a tough start. He said he's a hard worker behind the scenes. He says he's a clinical finisher that we all know. We just haven't had the opportunity to see it in red. And hopefully that was his first of many. That's how you talk about a teammate under pressure. Not as a price tag, not as a meme, not as a human being grinding to get it right. Then he singles out Joe Gomez. Excuse me. He said Joe Gomez was outstanding at right back. First league start, total professionalism. This is a lad who's been shuffled all over the back line, previous eras. Had some serious injuries. He's watched new signings come in and get slated to be higher in the pecking order. And he still comes in cold and delivers. That's culture. Virgil's message is simple. We've let ourselves down. The fans, the real ones, have stuck with us. We need to do the basics with humility and intensity, and then let our quality show. No excuses, no drama, just accountability and toughness. That's captain's words that I'd like to hear. But oh my goodness, what is being said and what is being displayed on the pitch are night and day. Is Virgil van Dijk's public backing of Isak and Gomez a sign of strong captaincy during a turbulent period, or is it just paper talk? I guess you could call it. Isn't that one way of saying it?
Yeah, paper talk, yeah. Depends what type of paper, whether it's newspaper or toilet paper.
Okay. That's what, yeah, okay.
Sorry, I misread something in the comments now.
Okay. Was it from Stormy Norman?
No, it was what Hylor had put. I thought it was TalkSport was a load of shit because I was talking about toilet roll. There is some crap on that. I haven't watched it for ages with that bloody Simon Jordan and old Jim, what's his name? Jim White, the old Scottish fella. Yeah.
I'll be honest, Songs 4K. I wouldn't mind VVD putting together the lineup. So I think VVD would make some tough decisions. You probably would see Salah back in the lineup. I understand that. That might not be something that some of us want to see.
VVD is player manager. Tracking and we keep it Dutch.
Oh no! There is sour. Are you sour on that one?
VVD, right, goes in as player manager soon after we sack Slot, and he installs his own backroom team, which includes some of the players he's played with in the last 10 years at Liverpool.
Exactly. All of a sudden, you see, we look and we're like, is that KDB walking out for Liverpool? No, it's not. Just kidding. Called on some of his old buddies and pals. Is that Snoop Dogg walking out with? No, just kidding. he came over to America to make that commercial with him,
If Snoop like footy, I reckon he'd support Liverpool.
I think Snoop Dogg does tentatively support Liverpool, to be honest with you.
No, Steve's just one of them fair-weathered fans who just goes to clubs and gets the flag. Oh yeah, hold the flag.
Probably.
Yeah, he's just one of those.
I don't think he can support Liverpool only because he is affiliated with a certain group that wears a different color. So I think that might be the reason why.
Well, we know what he supports. He supports the weed. That's what he supports.
All right, I wasn't gonna go there. I wasn't talking about green, but all right. Anyway, wasn't going there. With
You know
that
what I mean? Anyway, fun Snoop Dogg.
one.
Or Snoop Dogg,
All
whatever it's
right.
called these days.
Well, what is? We had a step. We had an improvement in West Ham, and then we had a massive step back against Sunderland. Where are we at with the net positive or the net negative, if you want to call it that? Where are we at? We had to put a plus minus on this team right now.
A very weak plus. If it's only between plus and minus, a very weak plus. Because it was a plus not to go straight back to losing after winning the game. At least we drew one as well. Plus, we haven't drawn a game so far this season. And like I said, Sunderland, you could see why they've had such a good start to the season and so high in the table. You could see why Arsenal failed to beat them. And you could see how they beat Chelsea. They're not a shit team, so I think we should keep it in perspective there. Okay, they've just been promoted. The recently promoted side. We're the champions. Blah, 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 blah. But look, we're in a bad run. And it wasn't the worst result. Like I said, I was glad that we didn't go to pieces when they scored and then get us on the break again, like really badly. We kept our heads up, and kept battling. It was frustrating because it was very hard to create against them, and we knew it was going to be like that. We tried our best, but it was a bit slow and pedestrian at times, trying to create, just going from side to side endlessly. But look, this is where we are at the moment. We've just got to deal with it and wait for the upturn in form, which should be coming at some point, I think. The upturn in form. We can't go on like this forever, and I don't think it will.
And the thing is, how is Sunderland getting that ball? They had the ball quite a lot yesterday. Too much for me. So that's the tactic.
Embarrassing.
Telling them let them have the ball.
Game that's a good draw, is if we go away and get a draw at Inter, that's a good result. That's our game, that makes in the Champions League. We can get a draw there. I know we've lost 2 games now in the Champions League, but you can lose well more than that, mate, and still qualify. You know what I mean? So, of course, we want us to win against Inter. I mean, you know what I mean? It's bare shit in the woods. But a draw wouldn't be a disgrace in the run we're in at the moment. Because we do have them after Leeds, don't we, Inter?
That's going to be a tough matchup. That's going to be a very tough matchup.
Looks like I might have to be in the playoff.
I think I would look. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Lee.
A good European performance where we don't capitulate, and compete really well. That could put us back on track because it's a good place to go and get a result. Milan, if you can come back with one, and it should give them a boost if we can. So yeah, we're a little bit in the positive for me. I'm seeing signs, I'm seeing stirrings that we're beginning to get to grips with it, and that we will be able to come out of this bad run. I'm not saying we're going to go on a big, massive, long winning run, but I think we will get better, and the ratio of wins will improve quite a lot. Hopefully,
that was a tactic they used big time yesterday, Norman. They were on the ground every fucking 5 seconds. They were on the ground. 2 minutes, 2 days.
Doing my head in. I kept shouting about it, mate. So I had me shouting it.
They should have been about 15 minutes injury
time. The referee
time,
let him. The referee played right into it, though.
I'm a big fan of the referee. The referee's a bit of a joker.
He fell for it every time. Some of them were
There was some of them.
Thing the players always do, where they get it on the ankle, and then they've got hold of their head, like somebody.
Dive and cheat. I don't like the game. Players just dive and cheat. Simple as.
Holding your head though, when the action was nowhere near your head. When the blow to you.
It's the knee leg.
On your toe or on your ankle,
can't stand that.
You're holding your face, rolling back and forth. I mean, I can't bear it, mate.
Even in our team, players just dive and cheat. The majority of them that's why the game is it sucks.
I thought I did it. Maybe I didn't do that episode, but I thought I did an episode on how football is evolved, how it was basically connected to why I thought, because people were asking me why I thought that they're like, oh, how could you even say that Liverpool have a chance of or could win the Premier or win the Champions League? And I'm like, well, I think I think this team was engineered to win the Champions League more so than they were engineered to win.
Well, when we won it in Istanbul, nobody would have said in the November of that season Liverpool are going to win the Champions League, and we
Absolutely
pretty well did. So we're one of those clubs that can win it any season. We are like, I mean, you don't win it every season, far from it, but we're one of those clubs that can. I always think, you know what I mean, if we can turn our form round and that and get a bit of momentum by the time the knockout phase starts.
Sure. But I mean, even beyond that prediction, the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I not only emphasized about that, I emphasized it because of the league in general was transitioning away from open play football. You now see a lot of we're at one of, I think, the lowest ball in play ratios since I think in the last 20 years or something like that. It is the fact that teams understand that one way to get to that final whistle is to time waste, do what Norm was just suggesting, which is, every time, even if you go down, I've seen people get hit in the legs and they grab their head. Like it's one of those things where you can get stoppage of plays, you can waste time, that that I know that they're trying to do their best in evolving the game by adding those minutes back at the end. That's why you have 8, 9, sometimes 10-minute extra time periods at the end of games. But at the same time, throw-ins, set pieces, all of those things, the way that they try, I mean, it was getting so bad that they've now made it where goalkeepers they're being strict on how long the goalkeeper have the ball in his hands in the fact of you can end up with a corner kick. FIFA, or the regulatory board, they're making the understandings of the game being not just that. It's not being played. On average, the ball in play is less than 50%. So in a 90-minute game, you have a ball in play for less than 45 minutes. Contemplate that. You're playing a 90-minute game, and only 45 minutes of it is actual football.
Yeah.
The rest is injuries and time wasting and VAR and throw-ins taking forever, and corner kicks and I get the throw-ins and corner kicks are all part of the game, but the amount of time that is utilized in wasting is over the top.
And that's something really bad, hasn't it? It's been getting worse. Guardiola, like a lot of it came from him, and then Arteta was with him, and Arteta's team does a lot of time wasting, like tactical fouls and all that cash. But City weren't really time wasters, like Arne said. City don't do as much, but what they were was bad actors, like the acting. And Rodri's one of the most unsportsmanlike characters I've ever seen. Is
Bernardo Silva.
And
Bernardo Silva,
another one who pisses me off, that face Foden puts his hands on his head and opens his mouth as wide as he can, to the ref going, ref. Oh, I can't bear it, man.
If you're going to do that, you got to be on camera to do that. No one can see the way you're talking.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
Rodri always so.
I know.
Yeah, Bernardo Silva's a little shit as
like
well.
a Saint Bernard or something. Saint Bernard in the heat or something. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, but
when you think about
when
you think about the TV cameras we've got and stuff, I reckon with all the VAR and stuff, what they should do is look at every weekend's games and work out which teams are wasting a lot of time by play acting.
And be more mindful of it,
And then sort of suspend players, so the players know, oh, you know what? Even if I get away with it now in the game, what's going to happen? I'll get caught later, you know? So
Yeah.
there is, because like for me, yesterday's game, we allowed Sunderland to waste time.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
gave them 30 minutes of the game yesterday. We said, yeah, do what you want. The referee didn't give us
kill the
enough
momentum.
Yep.
Oh yeah, kill the momentum and everything. Yeah. Do you remember there was a one occasion where we had, I think it was like a throw in, or we had some momentum building. We were trying to get a quick throw in, and the referee stopped because of some random, I don't know, something happened, or some random thing that went down, and all of a sudden, we're watching 3-4 minutes tick off while we wait to get back into play.
Yep. It's a tactic used from the managers.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're away at Anfield as they're the champions. What you do is find out where they don't get the ball, and when they're on the floor injured, Liverpool ain't got the ball. So there you go. Number one tactic, man. But for me,
can I also say? Oh, go ahead.
I just want to say, like, football for me has been ruined ever since VAR came in. It slowed down the game. It's got too many interruptions. You got football players giving interviews at half time. I'm not sure if that's carried on because I was really against it. The show business side of it is really tacky, like so cringe. It's like, oh, and I'm not a big fan of it. But for me, the way football is now, you don't see any football being played no more.
Right. Can I say this too? I know.
Can I say before I forget it?
Do it.
Not being able to celebrate goals when the
simple.
How many have you seen now where they've just been chalked off, and sometimes ages later, and it just spoils it, doesn't it, mate? You can't some goals you can because there's not going to be any, but there's so many now where you can't celebrate because it could get ruled out, especially.
Yeah, you got to hold off, and it's a different vibe when trying to say
that joy of when you score. Yeah. It's only some goals now where you can celebrate straight away.
Yeah, there's the other thing I was going to say, because this happened in a game yesterday. I believe it was yesterday, and I'm trying to think of what game it was, but there was a corner kick given, and you could see in the replay, that it deflected off of the defender's head, or not a defender's head, off of the offensive player's head, or off of the team posing, and they gave a corner kick, and then on that next corner kick they scored. But it shouldn't have been a corner kick. It should have been. It shouldn't have been a corner kick. So it's just something I've been advocating for a hot minute. It's something I'll continue advocating for. I know that I know that there are issues and problems with VAR. I'm not saying that there isn't, but if we're going to have VAR a part of the game, at least utilize it for something that every league in the world utilizes it for. When it comes to American football, or if it comes to basketball, or it comes to Manchester United just scored. When it comes to those kinds of plays, they're very simple. It's not you're not going to have to sit there and go 3-4 hours of not hours, but you know what I mean. It's not like you have to go continue countless minutes of, oh, did it hit this or did it go off of that or whatever, this and that. It could be quick as long as you're following the play. Chances are you're going to see the play happen. You can have a better viewpoint possibly, and you can replay it quickly and just say, hey, that's a corner kick, or hey, you got it wrong. That's a goal kick. And it could make a difference in a game. Those errors are essentially big time errors. And you're sitting there starting to say, oh, well, they're not like subjective style errors. They're cut and dry. Did it hit this player last, or did it not hit this player last? And that could be the difference of a team getting a corner kick late in the game, or it being a goal kick to run out the clock. I think that's got to be something that we do going forward when it comes to the rules committee. I think that should be something that should happen. I know that people don't want to see VAR, or doesn't want to see. We're talking about slowing up the game and everything else. But for those brief moments, I think that's worthy of slowing up the game just a bit, but not for all the excessive, fake injuries and the likes. How many times in that Sunderland game did you see a player? I'm trying to. There was one time a player, his shoe came off, and I was like, "How did his shoe come off?" And I was thinking to myself, I think that he took his own shoe off. I think he probably it was a little bit loose, he didn't have his foot in his shoe properly. And rather than just kind of wedge your foot back into your cleats, he decided to take his whole shoe off, show it to the referee that he has a boot in his hand. He wants to now he's got to untie his boot. He's got to sit there and he's got to remember how to tie his shoelaces, apparently, because that took forever. That's ridiculous. Get off the pitch. Get off the pitch. You lost your shoe? Hey, that's on you. Get off the pitch.
Put it on.
Tie your shoe. Yeah, put your shoe on off the pitch, because we shouldn't have to wait because you don't know how to tie a knot. Get off the pitch and let the play go.
Bounce.
Pull your socks up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pull your socks up. Pull your socks
Look, bro,
up.
it's football in the 2025. It's like Hollywood, Bollywood football, bro. You got more actors there than Bollywood. You know what I'm saying?
Bollywood remix.
I'm waiting for the Bollywood remix at half time.
Yeah.
All running across the pitch, dancing and that, But the thing is, bro, they've got the equipment to cut this out. Like, for me, games shouldn't have 15 minutes injury time, 10 minutes injury time. You shouldn't have that, really, when you really think about it. I've seen minutes this season when 15 minutes injury time, 13. I'm like, that's a lot. So what they've been doing in the game, wasting time all the time,
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, is that Bowden's catchphrase?
Yeah.
Bowden had a couple catchphrases.
Ref, mate. You didn't give us the decision, mate. We're Man City. I don't even know what he sounds like, what accent that was meant to be like.
I don't know what it was, but that
Manchester
sounded good to me. That sounded good to me.
Kid. It's Philip. It's Philip, kid. Philip.
Manfred.
Yeah.
Well, how are you feeling? Is there anything you want to recap or touch base on once more? Or is there anything that you guys have that's on your minds about the weekend, the state of the team?
I would very much like Joe to continue. If they feel he's up to as many games in those days, definitely, because we need to be solid away from home. And having him at right back with Dom in front of him is a good one, I think. So that'd be a thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe keep Robbo in as well.
I thought Robbo played well, by the way. I didn't think Robbo was.
Both fullbacks played well.
And Carragher's like did have a good game against West Ham. People were pleased with him and that. But Robbo looked good to me.
Fullbacks looked sound yesterday, but the centre backs are looking dodgy as anything.
Sometimes it can be a good thing that they've just had a big result against Chelsea 3-1. It can be a good thing sometimes that because they'll be looking to play, they won't be looking to sit really fucking deep, like they'll fancy themselves with getting something, so they'll have to come out a bit, and we can exploit that because we got no space at home against Sunderland to play in, but away to them it might be different, and that's what I'm hoping. And I'm hoping that Wirtz can get to grips and with everything and make them pay. Make them pay.
No, we're listening to you. I apologize. I didn't mean to.
No, sound. Yeah. I think we might get a little bit more room against Leeds, with them being at home, and they've had a good result, so they'll be hopefully coming on to us at times, and we can exploit that. Because we've just got no room to play in against Sunderland's Berry accent. That's where the Nevilles are from. Bury,
Yeah,
which isn't
Arsenal,
even
Gary,
in
Arsenal.
Manchester. It's fucking Lancashire.
Yeah.
How
Even
fitting.
from
I guess.
Manchester,
Well, you've been to the family home, I'm sure, for
Christmas dinner. You know what I mean?
Christmas
Yeah,
dinner.
Everyone
Chris,
sitting
yeah.
to Gary.
Oh,
There you
Chris,
go.
go on, Trace. Aye, Lee, this is our kid, Gary and Phil. All right, Lee. You want to come on the talk spot with me? All right, Lee.
this
Believe
is
it, second.
Phil, the one who I look a whole lot like, just with a wig and lipstick on. This is
Oh my goodness.
He does, mate. She looks
Oh,
like
my
Phil
goodness.
Neville with a wig and lipstick
Hey,
on.
hey,
Oh,
you
goodness.
could replace Roy Keane on the football pedal, the football show
I've
they do.
said before, I
Jamie
do
Carragher.
a photo, right, of their husbands, and he looked like a haunted man. The poor bloke looked like he'd been kidnapped and put in that photo. Kidnapped at gunpoint or something and put in that photo. I couldn't help laughing. You know what I mean? But that's just that was last season. I was sick of taking crap off Manx on. It was around the Carabao Cup final time. We were having a real go, like, because we were talking about that. And I just thought, you know what? I'll say this for a laugh, and it's kept going on. Like,
Remember, yeah, it's all right.
Her husband does look like a haunted man.
Oh man. Yeah. I thought it was interesting. I mentioned this yesterday. It is increasingly evident that Chiesa isn't necessarily going to see a starting role in this team, no matter what he does on the pitch. But I don't know if you guys noticed or not, because it was JP was on the panel with me yesterday when I addressed this. In the presser after he had a press interview, not the press conference, but in the press interview when he was being interviewed by, I don't know if it was Sky Sports or it was by the American publication of it, but he was asked a question. Arne Slot was, at least, where he said he was talking about the save that that Salah, excuse me, that Ali and Chiesa made, right?
Oh yeah, I guess.
And when he got asked the question, he went on about how great Ali is, and he went on about how, like, this and that. He mentioned all about Ali, rightfully so. Ali was a pivotal part in getting that save, certainly. But it wasn't until the reporter had to press him into acknowledging Chiesa and his importance in the saving of the goal. And then he gave props to Chiesa and that. But I was just wondering, like, does he just not like Chiesa that much that he can't even give him? He can't just come out and be like, let me just give this guy some props without being like goaded into giving the guy props. Absolutely wild. I don't know if you guys saw that. Let me see if I can find it real quick. We got like
I think the way Slot sort of done it with Chiesa, he's sort of made him fit. He ain't really overplayed him and this, that, and the other. This is the sort of fittest I've seen Chiesa in years. So in that part, it's good. But now's the time for him to disco, to party now. He is like the energy he brings into the team is what we really need right now. It's no good for him being on the bench. We need energy in that team. Football's a game of energy, and it's manager's job to get that energy out of the players on that pitch. And for some reason, it ain't happening. So what do you do then? You bring players into the team who've got that energy, and Chiesa is one of them guys, bro. Gomez, he came in, and we ain't lost for 2 games since Gomez has come in. That's the record we're on right now. So we've got to make changes. And for me, Isaac, he didn't have no service yesterday at all, bro.
Right.
So that's the major problem now. We can't rustle up something for the strikers to score goals, and it's bad. So for me, Chiesa, Wirtz, they're the type of guys you want on the ball.
Let's see. My headphones are acting kind of weird here. I'm gonna see if I can't find the actual answer for you. what was it? It was just interesting when he said it. What we got there? Are we up there? Let's see if this is what it was.
You like Peter Kay, don't you, JK?
He's too funny, bro. I love the biscuit one. You know, he's dipping the biscuits in the tea. He's like rich tea, one dips, and oh, bro, one dip, hobnobs. You can dip them 10 times in that. Oh,
Yeah, he was bloody funny at first when he come out. Like some of his programs funny.
his stand-ups. I think for me, he's the funniest. His stand-up shows too funny. I like. Wait a second, I'll tell you.
I know. Go ahead. Speak freely amongst yourselves here for 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna try to find it for you. I wasn't prepared to bring this up, but it is something I wanted to bring up enough. I don't want everyone to go blank on the thing, but I'm trying to find this stupid clip. It was just interesting, the interview that he gave, and the answer he gave. I was like, it was very, very telling. I was like, why is he answering the question like that? But all right, I'll see if I can find it. Maybe I'll bring it up tomorrow. Anything else you guys want to talk about? I know Latte just went camera free.
Well, it can have a bit more space to play in, as I said, against Leeds. You can find a little bit more room, some pockets to play in. If Leeds are, trying to force the issue against us, which I hope they do after their win over Chelsea.
You know what? I always said the best way to beat low block teams is by dribbling. I mean, seeing that yesterday works. He dribbled and got a goal. Footballers don't dribble no more, bro. That's how I knew when I was playing football all the time how to beat a team that defends like mad. Dribble through them. You get a foul, you get a penalty, or you'll score, or they'll attack you. But it's one of them.
Yeah.
And also, what Helio was saying about the fundamentals of the team are sort of wrong. Like people have been talking about Liverpool for ages. We all have, but there's something wrong in the fundamentals. And for me, it's all about the gear change. We're too happy in first, second gear, bro. Where's the third, fourth, fifth gear football? It's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was a question that was asked of him actually in the interview. He said basically, it was another slow start for us. I mentioned on Kopish that we can't concede first. If we go to Leeds and we concede first at Leeds, sign those points over to Leeds. We might as well just sign them over. At least that's how I look at it. That's the most likelihood of it.
So you're saying the fight's gone then, isn't it? Really, in other words.
I think the fight has gone, unfortunately. The players that would have given that fight are your Nunez's, your Díaz's, your Elliott's. They're not a part of this team.
Simple. Yeah.
They're not.
And
I think, the players that you're asking for that fight from are too, I don't want to call, I'm not saying that they're pretty boys, but you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like those players that are just, they're super talented. They figure they don't have to get into the dirt. They don't have to get into the mud, as Nalate was speaking on earlier, like they don't have to get dirty. They don't have to get like they just have to keep on like trying to quote unquote play their football. And what is their football when it's just basically side to side? That's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I'm sick of side to side. Side to side happens if you're winning 2-3-0, play side to side. I don't care. But for me, first things first, go forward.
Yeah.
For Liverpool, you know what I mean?
I'm still looking for this.
Quick 1-2s around the box. That's what I want. Like Wirtz in the middle. Do that. I like
Words.
Wirtz. Do you give Wirtz that goal yesterday?
We spoke on that. I did.
I did as well.
Unfortunately, Premier League, we can give it to him. But Premier League,
Yeah. It was going wide, bro. It was going wide. So, but the run was top.
You say it was. I'm not saying this because I'm biased. I'm just saying this because I just thought that it wasn't going wide, simply because there was when it got deflected, that guy was like right in front of him. There wasn't that much space between him and the player, and like I just thought it was headed toward the post. It would have been close. I'm not saying it was definitively on goal, but I will say this: there's no definitive I wouldn't definitively say it wasn't on goal. That's what I'm just trying to get across.
Yeah, Song's 4K. Like for me, the manager should give every player credit even if he weren't great. That's the manager's job.
Some portion of it and introduce it to your evaluation tomorrow. We're going to do a match preview. Big game for it's a big game for us, but it's an enormous game, honestly, for not only Liverpool but for Arne Slot. Let's be real. It is an enormous game for him. So it should be pretty interesting to see what happens with Liverpool tomorrow or Saturday. You guys got anything else you want to talk about? Is there anything in the chat that you want to speak on real quick? I can extend for a couple minutes here.
I just want them to give a good performance against Leeds as well, but in terms of just try their best, you know what I mean? All you can do is try their best, and hopefully that'll be good enough, and hopefully we do get a little bit more space to play in, and we're able to exploit that.
Say that part one more time. Sorry, my headphones didn't pick up what you were saying. My headphones keep trying to connect to my phone. That's why.
No, I was just saying, I hope we get a bit more space to play in against Leeds, and that we can exploit that. I mean, I think we will. I don't think they'll. Do you know what I mean? Because we're away from home and that, and they've just had a good result. I think they will. They will come on to us hopefully, and we'll be able to maybe get a couple of breakaway goals. We'll see what happens anyway. But I just want them to put the maximum effort in, obviously, and hopefully the plan Arne's got is good enough to get the better of Farker.
Mm-hmm. Can't VAR give a recommendation for the referee to look at? They can't do yellow cards. I guess that's the answer to my own question. But I thought they could. I thought that they could tell a referee to look at someone Bueno just blatantly took a dive in the box, and I don't believe he got carded for it. He should have, but I don't think that he did. And I don't think that VAR can give those calls. So maybe that's the reason. I know that VAR can't.
I'd like to see more players carded for faking it. For this rolling round, holding your head when nothing's touched your head. When a player does that and does it for ages, rolling around, holding his head, they should call the ref over and say, "Yeah, I'll have a look at this, ref."
The referee. I'd walk over.
You can have a look at it and think, you know what, I'll card him because I'm getting pissed off of it.
I'd walk over and be like, "Are you having a laugh?"
Really, but when they're swinging the lead really badly, and it's just so fake, because it's ruining the game. Definitely more cards for that.
They got to do what they have to do what Virgil did when Bruno. Remember when Bruno went down and he was like, or do what he did to Richarlison when Richarlison went down. He wanted to go help him up and he did the psych.
I was laughing with that with some old man in the pub last night. Rivaldo, sorry, not Richarlison. Rivaldo, when someone kicked the ball at him in the World Cup, it hit him on the legs, and he went down holding his face. Do you remember? In the World Cup, Rivaldo.
Yeah, I remember that. That was Turkey.
Yeah,
Group
Brazil
stages.
had a match against someone, and there was a bit
Turkey.
of needle in the match, like a corner got given, and one of their players, Brazil got a corner, kicked it at Rivaldo, it hit him on the back of the legs, and he went down holding his face and that and rolling around. It was just the funniest thing ever. I think he got called.
Yeah,
I loved Rivaldo as well. I was really into. I thought he was brilliant, Rivaldo, but that was just shameful, wasn't it? Funny though.
Yeah. So I'm saying, man, I couldn't play 2025 because I have teammates in my dressing room that dive and cheat. I don't think I'll be able to handle because I won't hold back. Football's gone a bit mad.
Yeah, big time. Here, for me, the Leeds, like, for me, I was ready yesterday. Sunderland, we've got to beat Sunderland at home. You know what I mean? It's as simple as that. And we didn't lose, but come on, man. Sunderland.
Exactly.
Sunderland. Then you're going to, like, for me, the Leeds game, 3 points or nothing now. It's the same with every game. I said it for weeks now. You have to win every game. And it ain't look like he's going to do that, man. So I can see it from his facial expressions as well. He don't look really with the program right now.
No,
I think frustration with his players as well, JK. I saw.
Yeah, we all know the titles well past us now, innit? So, like, I think, like, I mean, I'll give Arsenal full respect if they win it. Like, it's been 22 years since they've won it. Like,
I won't.
Well, just from the sense of a sport and achievement, nothing to do with their fan base or their manager or their players, even. But just really, it is a hard league to win. And if they win it, I will give them respect for that. But, I think I'd rather have them winning Man City making a comeback. I don't know. I'm torn between the two.
Listen, if we can't win it, City can win it. I don't care. I don't want Arsenal.
I don't think City have got it in them.
Yeah, City ain't great,
Yeah, defensively, they'll get the goals, but they're just defensively suspect. And we saw what happened the other day. Yeah, they're not going to do it. It's Arsenal's to lose. It really is. I know technically it's 5 points. Could be wrong, but it's Arsenal's to lose, man. Everything's just going for them.
The bridesmaid banner was funny last season. That was a right good laugh. Because it was a good time to play then, wasn't it? Last season, it was right at that, like the time we clinched the title. So like it was good fun that. But it might be someone else this year. Bridesmaids. We might not even be bridesmaids. Like
we definitely won't.
As long as we qualify for the Champions League, I'm satisfied with that. And have a good run in the Champions League and FA Cup. Because we've got no excuses now. If we make additions in January, which hopefully we will, by the time the FA Cup comes around, and then the Champions League knockout stages, let's hope we're in a better place and we can give them both a real go.
We've just got no excuses now. Point blank, periodly. You know what I mean? We just
because for me, even if you added players, would you still play first, second gear?
Yeah, I'll still be fixed. Yeah. I remember 21-22 when we done the quadruple. We won the FA Cup. We done the Cup double. I was still fixed. So finishing fourth and that, you just like, okay, but I'm still going to be fixed because right now we should be saying with the league or 1 point behind, 2 points behind. This is what we should be saying right now. Players are right there and they're about to click, but can't even win one game, let alone two. I mean, look at Nottingham Forest. We lost to them, and look, they lost the corresponding next couple of games. I mean, shows the game like JK agrees. Sunderland, I don't care how well they play, mate. They can play. They could be having the game of the season of the lives, mate. If our players turn up 9 times out of 10, we should be beating them. What was that? That was just like guys that were just effortless. Like, oh, we've won the league title now. Oh, I can't be asked no more. Slot looks like a man confused, lost. I can see certain players were not adhering to his instructions. Obviously he's not outright like Jurgen is. So Yeah, even if we beat Leeds, it's just a game. It's not going to do anything for me. It's just going to be, unless we do a run of 4 to 5 straight wins, then we could be talking. But yeah, it's peak. But big up Joey, like you said. I think what was it? Of yourself, Tor. I think big up Joey G, and Robbo, man. I think and who else? Works. I think they're the only 3 last night that can come out with some credit. The only 3 last night for me yesterday can come out with some credit of the game yesterday. Yeah, it's just weird. Go finger.
West Ham won, United won, is it?
It is 1-0 United. About 10 minutes left in this game.
Someone put it was 1-1 in the comments.
Oh, if it's 1-1, then they're ahead of me because right now it's 1-0. With
They put it in the comment.
John might be ahead of me. I hope that he is.
Someone called Magassa the score for West Ham. Oh yeah, that's right. He played against us.
Yeah, the midfielder.
So
Yeah.
it might. Wait, hold on. It's no, it's not coming up right now. All right.
Yeah,
I did find the clip,
1-1
so I'm gonna play the little clip of the interview.
Oh, you found it.
Yeah, I found it. So I did want to at least allow for you to hear what it was that I saw or heard at least. I will do this. I'm not going to obviously show the actual press conference. Whoops, sorry. I'm going to try not to. Hold on a second.
Oh yeah, I remember I was going to say I'll wait you for this. Yeah, before we end.
They're still trying to get it. So
is that confirmed, JK?
What's that?
Oh no, the goal. Is that confirmed?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. It's 1-1, bro. It's 1-1.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am a little behind. I'm only on
you're way behind.
Are they playing in London or is it at Castle Grayskull in Manchester?
Indeed, they are late.
They are playing in Manchester United. They are. Someone's forgot to flush the toilet.
Castle Grayskull. Well, that's right. Well done, Nuno. Keep it up, lad.
Here is the portion of the interview that I heard that kind of made me wonder.
Make the winner. Where at the end we were lucky as well because they went 1-on-1 with Ali.
Okay.
And Chiesa defended superbly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we've conceded a game without. Maybe we created a bit more than we could.
Oh, even
and today, of course.
To assess that performance tonight.
I think a bit similar as in the weekend. A game without a lot of. Yeah, I'm looking at the goal we conceding.
I don't know. He's like, I'm looking at the goal that we conceded. And he's laughing. I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like, you got to work on your PR, my brother.
Game where
big time, bro.
We didn't concede a lot. We didn't create a lot.
They just
maybe we created a bit more than we could. And today, of course, very unlucky with the goal we've conceded. A deflection that could go anywhere, but in this period of time, it goes in. But I really liked our reaction afterwards. I think you saw a team that wanted to make the equalizer, and when we did, tried everything to make the winner. Where at the end we were lucky as well because they went 1-on-1 with Ali.
And Chiesa defended superbly.
Yeah, I think that's what you want a team or a player to do in a situation like that. Just give everything, even in a situation where you feel you cannot do a lot anymore, but just keep running. And that's what he did, and that's why he cleared the ball off the line. And another time, a game where we probably scored less than we could have scored, and the opponent scored. Were quite good in the few chances they had, making a goal out of that one.
Okay, that's all I wanted to play. It's almost like just give the guy some credit, man. That's all I'm saying. Just throw the guy a bone, man. Come on.
Put on.
You can be a little. I know everyone's maybe micro analyzing things, and and micro critiquing things that the coach is doing now. But I'm just saying you're not doing yourself any favors in getting people to feel as though I know that Nolante said what he said about the whole comparison thing, but I can say that a coach with charisma, whether it's Klopp, whether it's Jose, whether it's I don't know, whether it's Ange, like you can connect with a coach. It makes the conversation, or it makes you understand or come at ease a little bit with the conversation. He just sometimes he just sounds like he makes things bigger or makes it more progressed than it needs to be.
What it is. Mm.
Yeah. So, oh man. So I don't know if everyone is super ahead of me or not. Let me see how far ahead of me you are. I can't even go further. Mine's just up to date. So I guess you guys are living in the future. So if you guys can tell me what the lottery numbers are, I'd appreciate that. And I'll be sure to break you off something. Okay. Because yeah, I am still in the 87th minute. West Ham is starting to push. Manchester United is certainly feeling a little bit of the pressure. Is certainly a part of that. Trying to hang out just long enough. I don't know how much extra time they're going to give in this game, but are you watching the game too, by any chance, Malante?
No, I'm not watching it. No.
Yes, no. Can you hear me?
Got my fingers crossed for West Ham and Nuno. Let's hope somebody can pop up and get a winner. That'd be hilarious.
I can make sure you guys can hear me.
And something of a tonic in these dark times.
Yeah, you guys should be able to hear me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're fine, Torf. You're all good.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Yeah, all good.
Make sure I can hear you.
Tap, testing. 1 2 1 2. Top man in the place to be with the third kit.
Okay, sorry about that. Again, I got trying to come through my headphones. It is still 1-1. It's the 88th minute. I was just asking, are you guys watching the game too as well right now?
No, I'm not.
I can't.
Yeah, I'm watching it in the background.
What minute of the game are you in?
90th, 91st.
How much extra time are they putting into this game?
5.
JK on it. JK Kismet on it.
On it.
Big up Duffy.
Yeah.
First minute. Okay. I'll try to hang out just to see this one through. Maybe we could be somewhat happy. I don't know if you want to call it that.
If we win against Leeds, I will be. Should have won yesterday, I would have been happy, but yeah.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
We've got to look after our own things. Forget what others are doing. Yeah,
exactly.
Like me, we've got to look after our own. We're really poor, man. I ain't seen nothing like this in a long time. So,
yeah.
Johnny, if you're listening, bro, 2 up top, words behind them. Simple.
Oh, should we go 4-2-2-2? Let's do that.
It could do.
Good. You really could.
It do, man. Just rip up the Band-Aid. Right, this now they ain't got nothing else to lose apart from his job.
Really could.
Yeah.
We need a West Ham goal, I guess, because then technically Manchester United would still be above us in the table.
Goal difference.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's incredible that we are at a 0 goal differential. But then again, consider that's what happens when you're conceding 3 goals at home and such.
Yeah.
Well, got some big games against some of the teams in front of us. We got Brighton, who's sitting above us as well. You've got Leeds that could propel us into again a win. If a win against a Chelsea loss, who does Chelsea play next?
I don't actually know. They must be at home. He's just been away, hasn't he? So he must be at home.
Yeah, they'll be at home.
Chelsea plays Chelsea's away next game.
Oh, 2 away games in a row.
Two away games. Yeah, because they had Arsenal at home. So yeah, so it's definitely Chelsea is away. They have Bournemouth at home, or Bournemouth is the home team in that game.
Okay. Yeah, Bournemouth been a little bit of a mini rot, but yeah, they could do something.
They have been.
Semenyo's gone quiet, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Semenyo has definitely gone quiet. So yeah, a loss if Chelsea were to lose against Bournemouth, who's Crystal Palace play? I know we just have to do what we need to do for ourselves too, but I'm just looking ahead. Fulham have a tough game against Crystal Palace. That's always a tough game, and it's at Fulham. And then let's see. Can't believe that we would have to wonder what Sunderland does. But Sunderland, that's going to be that should be an L for them. Sunderland is going to face off against Sunderland will be facing off against Manchester City at the Etihad. So that's not an easy one for them. Let me see. I'll just go to round 15 and just bring up all the games here. Well, as we wait this game is still getting played out here. Let's have some fun here. I'll try to make a quick list too. Do this. Let me do this. For this week, I'll do some predictions. I'll have to give our last predictions, but I wrote them kind of down, but I don't remember where I really wrote them. I'll make sure that I remember where I wrote these. For this weekend's games, let's do some predictions while we wait for this game to go final. All right. The games for this weekend coming up are, all right. Arsenal have to go to Villa. Ooh. That's not going to be an easy match for Arsenal, especially since they're down 3 center halves now. So Arsenal hosts Villa, or Villa hosts Arsenal, I mean. I'm going to go for Villa winning that game.
Villa did well against Arsenal last season, and Emery does have a good record, I think, against Arteta.
I think he does, yep.
I totally frustrate them. To be honest, though, it doesn't really concern me that much now because they're so far ahead of us and we're playing in a way that doesn't suggest we're ever going to catch them this season, that it is of less consequence to me now, Arsenal winning games, because we're well off the pace.
I just saw that this game just went final, so it's 1-1 final. Let's rock through these real quick then. We'll go Lante, JK, Lee. Villa, Arsenal. I'm going Villa in that game.
Draw.
Score
draw.
Okay. JK?
I'll give you my prediction, then I've got to shoot, bro. Let's go for a Villa win, man. Come on.
Okay, that's what I say. How about for you,
Lee? Bros.
Definitely take care, guys. Take care.
Nice one, JK.
Cool. Take care,
nice
bro.
one, JK.
I'm going to go for a 0-0.
I'm going for a draw, too.
I'll say it'll be a 0-0.
So Villa draw. All right.
Yeah.
Bournemouth, Chelsea
manages to end 0-0 despite there being quite a lot of chances.
Okay. Bournemouth, Chelsea. I want to say Bournemouth. I guess go Bournemouth. Why not? Make it interesting. I know Chelsea's going to win that game. They should beat Bournemouth. Bournemouth is looking mighty basic lately. What's your pick in that one? Latte.
I'll go Bournemouth win.
Bournemouth, okay.
No, he brought no good Chelsea. Chelsea?
They need to win that game because they're sinking and they're in 14th now. They're dropping down in the table. Go ahead, Lee. Bournemouth, Chelsea.
I'll go for the 2-2.
Okay, little Desmond.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next game is Everton Forest. I'm gonna go with a draw in that game.
I'm gonna back Everton to win. I say Everton will beat Dyche. I'm always a beat Dyche.
How about for Delonte?
Yeah, I'll score draw.
Okay. Next game after that is I think we'll all pick City versus Sunderland. Do you think Sunderland can get a upset against them?
No, City win.
Yeah. Should they? Okay. You same, Lee? City?
Sorry.
City host Sunderland, right?
Yeah. No, I'm going to say Sunderland frustrate them and get a...
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to say they get a 1-1 against City.
Oh, you're saying the draw. You say
Yeah. They'll frustrate them and get a 1-1 and continue their good run of form against the big teams because they haven't lost against any of the big teams yet, have they?
3-1 City. Okay. Lee's playing along with us. Okay. So Newcastle, Burnley. Newcastle's going to win that one. They're at home against Burnley. That's got to be a win.
See that as a home win, definitely. Newcastle have got enough to beat Burnley, I think.
Yeah. Same for you, Lenate?
Yeah, Newcastle all day.
Spurs, Brentford. Geez, Spurs need a win. They're fortunate to get a draw just recently. Spurs are a weird bunch. I'll tell you that right now. Spurs are like you never know what Spurs team you're getting. But they're at home. Surprisingly, they play better on the road than they do at home. I'm still going to go with a Spurs win for that one. What do you like, Delonte? Spurs versus Brentford.
2-1 Brentford.
Ooh, okay. How about for you, Lee?
Yeah, I'll say a Brentford win. 1-0 for Brentford.
Everybody's going. Spurs love. None at all. What did I say? Cois. What did I go? Cois? Something like that, right? Something Cois or something like that.
Yeah, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Boys.
Cois or something like that. All right. We'll save the Leeds Liverpool prediction for tomorrow. Brighton hosting West Ham. I'm gonna go Brighton in that game, to be honest with you.
I've picked a lot of draws, but I'm going to pick another one, and this is one of them. Brighton West Ham to be a draw. Nuno's team will be buoyed by their point at Castle Grayskull. And
Brighton's been weird. They let who was it? They let Villa come back and beat them after being up like 2-0 in that game or something. Who you got in the Brighton West Ham? Nolante?
No, score draw. No, Brighton win.
Brighton win.
Okay. Yeah.
Fulham Crystal Palace. I'm gonna go with the draw in that game. That's a That's a London derby, right? So
Yeah, London derby.
And it's one of those derbies that they can actually compete in, as opposed to playing with some of the bigger name clubs.
Yeah.
What do you got in that game?
I'm gonna go with
Fulham is at home. Fulham is at home too.
Fulham win.
Fulham win.
Yeah.
Lee?
Who's Fulham playing?
Crystal Palace.
Fulham, yeah. I'll say Fulham.
Wow. This is and Glasner is the coach that some of you all want.
Oh no, thank you.
Last but not least, Wolves Man U. Can Wolves pipe off a victory against Man U?
No. In a word. Sadly, no. Sadly, United will get winning ways.
That's the Monday game. I guess they must have had the last Manchester United have had the last game in the week twice now. I think that Man U, I mean, I know Wolves have the same situation, but Wolves are just bad.
Wolves look so bad, don't they?
Winless.
This season.
Winless. They got 2 points on the season.
That's crazy. Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah, I didn't think they'd be this bad. To be honest, if they do get redicated, they've got some good
players. They got
players.
no points, by the way. They got 0 points.
Mate, I can't wait to play.
No, they got a draw. I'm sure they got a draw.
They got 2 draws.
Yeah, see? Yeah, not 0. No.
Yeah. Oh, you hold on to every one of those points you have when you're down that low. When you're down to 2 points. But Wolves, Man U, why not? Wolves, you go. Maybe the spirit of Jota lifts you to a draw against Manchester United. What do you got in that game? Wolves, Man U.
You know what? It's difficult. I mean, if Wolves will get relegated, sadly, I do like Wolves. I don't know why. But they've got some good players in that midfield. João Gomez, so if we could pick up in the summer, he'd be a good addition.
You know what? He's apparently told the club that he wants out.
Yeah, well, but he
wants out for January, not summer. He wants out in January. And not only does he want out in January, Manchester United is the team that is circling for his services. So maybe he uses that Manchester United game as a look at me now type audition.
Window.
Yeah.
I prefer him over Wharton. I know Brian loves Wharton. Yeah. I think Joe Gomez is our kind of
Well, couldn't he for us then?
Yeah.
That one on it, lads.
Dylan,
wow. I did not expect to hear that.
I think he fits our system better, if I'm honest, but yeah. But you know, I mean, logically, but United, Wolves win.
Wow. Okay. Lee, last but not least.
Yeah, I can only see United win currently in this game. It's just so bad at the moment, Wolves.
They are horrible. We all got a different perspective on that game. I got a draw.
Okay.
Wolves win. Man U win for Lee. So one of us is going to be right in that. So we'll see which one is, I guess.
Well, if Wolves win, I'm going to take over the show. If Wolves win, I'm going to take over the show.
Yeah.
If
Wolves win, you need to have an Alante takeover.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, we'll take over the show. We'll talk.
Hey, I don't mind taking the day off.
Yeah, you can take a day off. No,
this is actually the nice part of the year for the state. So where I'm at right now, so it's cool. But all right, people, we are out. We went over just a few minutes just so we can make sure we get the end of that Man U game. They are unfortunately above us on goal differential, but by +1 point. in the goal differential separates us from them, but who cares about that? I think of more so, let's try to crawl our way back into this top 4 and actually make something out of this year is what we have to look at as being our pursuits. Some type of recognizing of us getting into a pattern enough that we can, make a difference in that Champions League. It's important. It's essential. It's something we need to do. So I appreciate JK, who isn't here now, but was with us earlier. Big up to him. And I especially appreciate Nolante that definitely, I know it's a late one, but suffered through this with us, and definitely Lee, big up to you as well. Did you guys want to say anything before we part? Anything?
Yeah, I'll just put something quickly. This is for yourself in the chat. I'm sure Norm will be very knowledgeable about this. This shirt that I'm holding up, as you can see. Can someone tell me which season this kit is?
It is.
Yeah, what season it is, and number 2, can someone tell me after the season which player does this remind you? The kit that I'm showing. Which player does this remind you? And the season, please. I can't see the answers because I'm on my phone. So 12.
I'll hazard a guess. Was it the 2002-03 season?
Spot on.
Oh wow!
Spot on, Lee. Spot on. Bingo.
I think the Reebok gave it away. Maybe.
Yeah, I've got one on. Well, no, I haven't got it on now. I had recently from around that area, like just before that. But yeah, that was a good one. That's a really nice kit. Which player would I associate it with most?
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember 2002, 2003, a year like that.
Yeah, it's the League Cup win.
I'm trying to mean like was that our second or third jersey? Was that our?
No, it's third jersey.
That's the third jersey. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, those people that started watching this team in the 90s, some rough years going through all the way up to that 2005 moment of glory. It was some rough years. Rough years.
That League Cup final against United.
It seemed very slow because in the first half. What do you put that down to? Because when you made that substitution and Mo came on in the second, a little bit more energy, a little more fire about the play.
He dropped out.
You have to take into account how the other team is playing.
Well, his mic dropped
they
out.
either go really aggressive and pressures really high, and that's the reason why it's so difficult to beat them. They are
let me say this. We remembered one of our own,
and they are very aggressive when they press you high. And there's a reason probably why
Arnie getting
we're not the only team who
Arnie's playing in the background.
I think a few other very good teams have
Is Arnie playing in the background
as well.
In the background.
It's difficult. They don't concede a lot of goals. I think 4 times they conceded 2 goals. For the rest, 1.
My apologies.
You're
like, wait, is Arnie a part of the stream here? What is he doing?
Exactly. So what's going on here?
Arnie crashing the party.
Yeah.
That's weird. I couldn't hear
to play it twice.
Yeah, I couldn't hear it being played. When you mentioned it, I could see that it was running in the background, but I couldn't hear it being played.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, we've remembered one of our own in Diogo Jota, forever in our hearts, number 20. Number 21, if you're going to refer to him on the Portuguese side. He's someone who showed us what quiet excellence is and humility in a red shirt looks like. We've heard pundits diminish Lucho and write off Salah and question VVD and talk about this club like it's on the brink of collapse. We've heard opposition fans talk about dispatching Liverpool like we're a training exercise. I think our response has to be measured. It cannot just be tweets and rage. It has to be standards, work. It has to be us as a unified group. On the pitch, do the basics, run, fight, build on the very few and between wins that we've had. Off the pitch, stay critical, but stay together. Demand more without becoming what we've always mocked in other fan bases. I can't stress that enough. Let's not become like Arsenal or Chelsea or the likes of Manchester United's fan bases that are just really, really not only ugly towards other fans, but just ugly towards each other. We had to demand more without becoming what we've always mocked. And that's what I mean by that. We used to be that club that turned doubters into believers. Right now, our job is to stop ourselves becoming permanent doubters. As Mohamed Salah himself has tried to embody, we can appreciate the new players and the new direction this team is taking, while never forgetting and never disrespecting the work, the sacrifice, and the brilliance of the ones who no longer wear the badge. We don't have to tear down your yesterday's heroes to sell tomorrow's vision, in essence. We don't have to desecrate memories to justify a new path. We can love Jota. We can love Lucho, Mane, Bobby, Hendo, Milner. The list goes on, and still fully back Flo, Isak, Cody, Ekitike. The new era. That's Liverpool. That's what this show was always stand on. Big game coming up on Saturday. Big week ahead of us. Big questions to be answered. Big as always, but still we will always do what we do, and that is fight. We face it the only way we know how, together. So until tomorrow, my friends, my family out there, my Reds family, for Nalante, for Lee, for JK, I say you'll never walk alone, and up the Reds always. That's right. That's right. Remember that. 2002, 2003. Recognize.
Nice, everyone.
Definitely. Good night.